There is corruption. Yeah, hey, there is corruption. Yeah, there is corruption. Hey, hey, it's a government. Where are you? Hey, Mr. President. Where are you? Hey, our leader. Where are you? Hey, Mr. President. Why hey, there's corruption. Yeah, in this world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have corrupt politicians. They loot, they steal from the hungry. Mothers cry, fathers stress. We all feel the heat, Mr. President. Corrupt politicians, they eat. Mothers cry, fathers stress. Corrupt politicians, they steal. Why?
Corrupt politicians are still here.
Now to face the beast. Are we brave enough to raise the pain? There is corruption. Yeah. There is corruption. Yeah. Hey, there is corruption. Yeah. There is corruption. Hey, hey, it's a government. Where are you? Hey, Mr. President. Where are you? Hey, our leader. Where are you?
Where are the leaders when there's corruption taking over Liberia? Liberians are dying slowly, and the people are making mockery of the situation. Corrupt politicians. Oh Lord, corrupt politicians. I'm telling you, they are all. Dr. Peabody, Grace Gore, and everybody else. Brother Ansu Salif is in the building right back home, the man who starts and ends this show. Brother Salif, welcome, boss man.
Yeah. There is corruption. Yeah. Hey, there is corruption. Yeah. There is corruption.
Folks, as you join us, please do us a favor, share the video. Aliyu Kamara joining us. Patrick Fode, Gamen Jensen, James A. Koyate Jr., Jr. Say, I'm watching from Dupont Road. What is it called? Hammond Field Community. Go ahead, share the video, invite other people, folks, while we wait for the rest of our panelists to join us. Mr. President, what are you doing? Corruption is taking over Liberia.
There's corruption. Yeah. In this world,
Chokong Bayou, Madam Yomathro Kranga. We said, welcome everybody. All right, folks, I think we have enough of the music. Now that we have our host in the building, we will turn it over and we will sit back and follow. Madam Grace Goa, welcome to the show. Dr. Peabody, and of course, the man himself, Ansu Salif, the man represent. We are the best in the country now. James Ekoyate Jr. said we are the best. Definitely, we maintain some level of sanity, and we bring integrity to the conversation. The discourse is about the Liberian people. It's not about us. So we must maintain the integrity of the conversation, and we will continue to do that. Until then, when I should be back here and given the opportunity to chime in, I say I'm out for now. Grace, Dr. Peabody, Ansu, take over.
Why are you out for now? Oh my goodness, nobody's off for now. How you guys doing? We want to say welcome to the closing argument, the best show right now on the airways in Liberia. It's true because we're getting information. So when you have a show where other radio stations in Liberia are calling upon you to run your show on their platform in the different counties and not asking you for any money, then you know that you are doing something. So that's why I make that's the reason why TCA is trending right now. So we are happy because of that. Ansu, how you doing, brother man, in that studio? We can't hear you.
It should be better.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yes.
Yeah. So as I said, thanks again for having me on the closing argument, especially the weekend. Yeah, we're going for our usual weekend break, and with the closing argument on the Friday edition. So it's good to be here, back home here, and follow all the activities here in our country. So thank you.
Thank you, Ansu. And I would like to welcome Dr. Henry Peabody to the show. Although he was here before me, but I came back. I came on. He's just coming.
Grace is here.
I am here.
Good to see you, Grace. And Grace is going to moderate the show today. So, Grace, I'm looking forward to you moderating today, Grace. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Doc. Also, I would like to ask you a quick question. Can you give us a rundown what happened in Liberia today before we ready kick off the show? What do you know? What went on today? I know that the House of Representatives, they are on a retreat. So we're looking forward to discussing that maybe in the later part of the show, what's going on at that retreat and where were the benefits that they carry or that they were given compared to the Senate with all these scandals and stuff like that. So what's going on, Ansu?
So far, just on now the two representative, indeed, one from that's Moserado County District 9, Foucault, yeah, again followed by for the family there too. So so far that's the two name spoke out today in the media. Foucault refused to show up for the House of Representative retreat there in the Farmington Mangibe County that is taking place in at the Farmington Hotel in Mangibe County, just around the airport. For those of you who been in the country, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just adjacent the airport. They Mangibe County. Then Safoko to he also to one person who boycotted the retreat too. He said from the way from the look of things. It's like the retreat by the House of Representative is not in the interest of the Liberian people. So he was the first person, that took the airway or the media. Then followed now by for the family who also disclosed his non-participation, and he said that his decision to is on public opinion since the retreat is being used for money pocketing. So that's the two lawmakers so far that have taken the entire airwave when it comes to the representative retreat. They are in a retreat. They are in a Mangibe County, and I did some follow up on it. Get to know that I think the speaker came out and said they are all of facility or all of incomes there from Panox because their retreat have been sponsored in partnership, I think, with they're in partnership should be with UNDP.
The UNDP,
yeah, giving them some support. So there are some other things that the UNDP is currently calling up there at the House of Representatives retreat. Then the next thing again, took our airway again today. It was on this thing about the motorcyclist thing. You people can still remember when this no-go zone they started a few months ago. The police placed this restriction down on the helmet before leaving from Painesville City, or maybe from any part of Monserrate. But so long you're going to Central Monrovia or you're going to Monrovia, you should use your helmet. So these are no-go zone restriction in place of motorcyclists, and the cyclists are bounced back into the news again that the no-go zone placed on them is not in their interest. They are taxpayer. The restriction is too much and too much of a harassment from the police. So they are threatening the protest, calling on national government to cancel the no-go zone policy in the country. So the cyclists bounce back again to the airwave again. They are the next group that training on this no-go zone. So they are threatening that they will carry on the protest because the no-go zone is not in their interest so far. It is serious intimidation, harassment, according to them, from police. They are taxpayer. The restriction is just too hard. So those are some of the things that training Peabody and Grace.
Okay, thank you very much, Ansu Salif. Thank you so much, my brother. But before we go further into the retreat topic concerning the motorcyclists, Ansu, you need to mute yourself. Yeah, concerning the motorcyclists and what the no-go zone. Well, we want Liberian people to understand there are rules and regulations in any society. If the government come up to say that they're changing the rules and regulation with the motorcyclists and the keke people, there are certain areas that you can't cross, in certain places you can't go. In a really developed country, you can't have that. So if the president or the government of Liberia are trying to create that environment for Liberian people, I don't think there should be a problem. Although it doesn't benefit the motorcyclists in a way, but that's the regulations and that's the rules of the country. And I think they should abide by it. But I will let one of my panelists come on and say something about that, and then we'll go into the retreat. I would like to welcome Chuchu Alex Jones to the platform. Chuchu, welcome.
Thank you. Happy Friday to you, the lovely Grace.
Thank you, Chuchu.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Dr. Peabody, good to see you.
Up,
Happy
Alex?
Friday to you as well. Ansu,
Good to
happy
see
Friday
you.
to you.
Good to see you. Same here, man. Same here, Alex.
Yeah.
Same here.
And thank you
all right.
thank you, Alex. Dr. Peabody, do you want to say anything concerning this whole or no-go zone and what these people are still coming up not to follow the rules, the regulations of the country, and pay heed to respect of the government and what the people are put in place for the areas in the country, for the society to be a regular and normal and society. So I don't know, you can say anything about that.
Well, Richard Tyler, thank you. You're still following us and watching the show. That's great. Hope you're having a great time on your vacation as well, Richard. But let me say, Grace, as I always say, nothing really surprises me when it comes to Liberia or what happened in Liberia. There's nothing.
You need to start giving up. Go ahead.
There's really nothing, because the other thing that we're gonna talk about here tonight again, I would say nothing really, because the whole no-go zone and stuff like that. What did they put in place to stop these people? What did they put in place for these people? I mean, for me, I think it's the right thing, because if you've been to Liberia, you're driving on the streets, you have over 100 or 200 motorbikes just driving all over the place and recklessly that they could be hit. I went to JFK one time and they have a whole unit for these people that are there after being hit by car or different things, But then you don't have adequate means of transportation in that country. We don't have transportation. We don't have no system and stuff like that. But I think it is important that these folks be regulated, but be regulated in a way that they will have the opportunity to the area designated for them, that they will have the opportunity to apply the area that have been designated for them. But I think they need to put in the right channel for those kids, for those guys who ride the motorbike. I think the no-go zone is fine. But what have you put in place for them to avoid it in the long term, or for them coming, or for them to be able to operate on another side? So
yeah, I think they can. Thank you, people. I think they can work something out. But I think what the government is doing to try to set a standard, and the thing is that in early government, it happened. we be going to Liberia and never, the people, the motorcyclists and the keke were not in the street like that. So there can come a joint effort that they can have meetings with the head of the motorcycles association and the government people that are responsible for this, for them to come to one, agreement for something to be different. But them plying the streets the way they used to ply the streets during George Weah government time is not going to be the best thing to do. It's not good for safety. I've been to Liberia before. One time the motorcycle hit my car, and then they started blaming me for the man hitting my car. And we had to go through the whole 9 years, and the man ended up telling me sorry. I ended up sending him to the hospital. So all these things, that's why I think the people trying to afford. But Chicho, I need you to come in on this.
Yeah. What's your question?
How do you Ansu just said about the motorcyclists trying to get back? They don't want to follow the rules that the government have put down, that they should not enter or drive into certain streets and stuff like that. So there are plenty of protests concerning that, and they want to be able to plow the streets of Monrovia like they used to do before this government took over.
Okay. That's a very interesting one. Before I go into that, I just want to make a couple of public announcements. One is the MLB is strongly criticizing Speaker Kofa. Just did
we're gonna get in that
article.
we're gonna talk about that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I think a few weeks ago we talked about the helmet issue, the helmet enforcement, right? And I think I criticized how the government went about it. I said that in a society, first the leadership should show some degree of leadership before you can expect people to follow you. Two, you need education, you need workshop, you need public service announcements. You need to create a condition where for those who can't afford it, they don't have the money. How do you solve those problems? You can just get up one day and just say, everybody wear a helmet. Okay. So the same thing I would say with the motorcyclists. On the one hand, yes, it's safety. On the one hand, we want Liberians to be able to conduct themselves, we want traffic rules and what have you. But when you look at the magnitude of how this place is misgoverned, okay, here's a country where I doubt you even got stop sign, okay, or correct red lights, traffic light. The government has just completely abandoned all its responsibility, okay? But then the people who are making a living, who are trying to get by, they want to enforce, rule of law, and they want to enforce, regulation. It doesn't work that way. So the leadership, all right, they're not showing any kind of they are not responsible. The police, okay, the entire government, the legislature. That's why the people don't follow them. So, have you created the condition for people to not travel, on the main roads? If I'm making my living as a motorcyclist, and it's more efficient for me to ride on the road to make my living, my daily bread, why would I want to, deviate from that just because the government says, oh, follow this other road that may not be very popular or profitable? So you got to look at both sides when you're making policy decisions. You got to look at good policy decision making is when you don't even have to force people because you've created the condition. Just like, yeah, you have cyclists, they ride, they have now in most cities where a cyclist can ride safely, right? I'm a cyclist. I don't need to get on the road because the government has went out of its ways to create that marking, create that safety mechanism that is even much more easier for me. So if you don't create any system, you don't create any thought process, then I will have to side with the motorcyclists. That is not that their lives are not important, but between making bread for yourself, making a living and following some rules that some, corrupt government official or police say, I would choose making my daily bread because how do I eat? That's the difficult part in Liberia. So I side with them. They should protest.
Yeah, I understand that you side with them, Alex, but you have to also, like Bremen said, let us you have to also think in the cycle, like in the circle, like, okay, in America, the great country that we live in, although they have motorcycle streets and stuff, it's not in all the communities and not in all the states. So even the ones that they are in right now, if they are not in, people don't follow, they die and start riding their motorbikes or motorcycles on the street like that. You will see one or two, but it doesn't happen in that way. Like it's transportation. It's not going to ever be allowed. There's rules and regulation and everything and everywhere you stay in any society. So we understand the way the government came about it. But even the last government, the way they came about it, brought people in the street was abrupt. So this government have to take abrupt decision to be able to really come to the situation where they are comfortable, the motorcycles are comfortable, and the government too is comfortable with the whole thing that's happening. So for me, I just don't. I think they should have a meeting and be able to come to one agreement. That's the only way it's going to work. They cannot bulldoze the decision of the government and say, you know what, we'll be on the streets. It's not going to be a good thing for the country. So there where we are. Lufa was here. I'll come to ask him to take on it, but he disappeared. So therefore, we'll move on.
Let me say something before we move on.
Okay.
I think I wanted to say what Alex said. You don't create any kind of condition for these people, any kind of remedy. There's no remedy for these guys. You know, they're looking at it for their own food, transportation. And it helps a lot of people in Maria with their transportation. You can't kick them off, but there's no solution to it. And I think Ellie's right about that. There's no solution. Even though I don't support them on that side, but there's no solution. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Thank you, guys. Lufa, Mr. Julius.
Yeah, good to be on. Sorry guys, I keep moving back and forth. My little girl, she's kind of running things around here right now. But you know, in regards to this whole issue of the no-go zone, let's be honest here. It's called preparation, adequate preparation, right? In order for you to implement anything in my area of expertise, in order for us to carry on anything such as migration, such as like Grace, you work in an office environment. The IT team don't simply, if you are migrating from one operating system to another, they prep you up, they notify you. Okay, be like, okay, guys, in this time we will be migrating from this operating system to that, to give you the opportunity to question certain things. Often human, we don't like change, but when the change is beneficiary, we adapt to it and we appreciate it. So in order for you to be successful at implementing that, you must start with the preparation, which I don't see often happens in Liberia. They simply come and have it done instantaneously. And then the people react to it. That's not how it's done. You prepare the people. We notify the public. We send our communication. The comms team send our communication and say, okay, guys, in June, July, August, we will start our migration. We will start with the finance team. We will do this and do that and do that. Okay. As part of our migration, you will benefit this, and this will be the downside to whatever it is. But if you got any question, reach out to us. And then we carry on training for those who need it. We carry on all of the training, whether they are in the police force or wherever. When that is done, then people start to adapt. Gradually, they become a part of it. That is how it is. Unfortunately, in Liberia, one guy just get up one morning and say, you know what, we need to stop bikers from going here. You didn't prepare them as to how they're supposed to do it. So no one is against change in Liberia, but how the change is instituted is what caused the problem very often. And that's what this is. I think this is systematic, even to the point where we don't retain professionals. You will see every government account have their own police director. They don't retain those people so that they can complete what they already have from the previous year or previous government. They will change people every time. It's almost like every government that comes, they bring another batch of people.
It's like they're starting all over.
Right. You start all over. And when you're doing that, then we look at it as, how are you retaining the knowledge and the experts? You need to maintain those people so they can train other people, so that when they're no longer in the workforce, those who have been trained and well capacitated can implement accordingly. That is not happening in Liberia. Everybody come to go grab their own people. Look at what's happening today. I heard people celebrating water and sewer. Okay, you don't know what's happening over there. And again, this is where we are. Why it is true that we must follow the law, we should also take into consideration the fact that, hey, these young people have to feed themselves. We are not creating jobs. in the private sector where they can go and feed their family and just sustain themselves. So
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah, but you have to also understand. I appreciate all of your input, but we have to understand like we're a third world country, and I'm not. It's not an excuse for the country though, but where we are right now, some of these things will not be done abruptly at the right way abruptly. So they will have to start from somewhere. So I suggest that the government people who are responsible for this and the motorcyclist leaders should get together and work something out. Something should be worked out, and they can maybe reduce the streets that they're not supposed to go, and put more areas that they can go until they can put things into place. I think that would be the right thing. But we're moving on, and we want to talk about the retreat quickly. I don't want us to dwell on it because the people are not even done with the retreat. So we'll talk quickly about the retreat, the House of Representatives, the retreat that they own right now at the Farmington Hotel at the Railway International area. And I heard that Ansu was saying that FOCO boycotted the retreat. And he gave a little reason why FOCO boycotted the retreat. But this retreat, it was scheduled to to review the laws and that governs the House of Representatives. So why is it that the representatives then boycotting the retreat? They're not going to learn the laws that govern the House of Representatives when they boycott these retreats. That's why they don't abide by these laws. So even you have differences with the people that sponsoring the retreat and that organize the retreat. Your duty is to be there. You cannot boycott your job. The government should not pay your money for this month because it's wrong. That retreat is to review information. It's like a training session, to tell you the truth. Why are you boycotting the retreat? Unless you want to come in on down there, Dr. People, and then look for Julius.
Yeah, Grace. Again, I'll go back. I had a little bit of hope in the legislature. Okay, that there were people, most of them who already been legislator for a period of time. But I think I'm beginning to lose all hope in this legislature. Just like the Senate, for me, they're complete disaster. They're complete, ragtag group of people who just hijack power, corrupt, whatever. Look, everybody knows that when you go to a new job, that's when you start doing training. You do go through orientation. Even in the United States Congress, when you become a new representative, you go through training in your first week. You don't wait 6 months before you go learn what are the rules, what you need to do. And besides that, you don't need to go to a hotel, all right, before you can say, oh, I'm going to learn new things or pass laws or strategy or get along. We all know this is just a formality and it's an entertainment purpose. Because there's nothing you cannot. The Capitol building is a big place. You have different rooms in the Capitol building. They go there all week. They're not in session every day. You can schedule a day for new representatives to come learn. You can hire outside people to come and train this legislature because some of them are completely useless. Some of these people, they do not even have the first public relations skills as a representative. There's some people I was listening the other day where the representative who staff salary got into this whole misunderstanding where people were sharing salary and things like that. And according to him, that Spoon TV called him, but it did not call him. I mean, he did not get a call, right? So my question is, if you are represented, how are people supposed to contact you? Do you have a public, like a site where people can say, all right, I have an issue. I need to call this representative. Yes, a person number. You don't have any phone number. In your budget, it says there for office expense, right? You're collecting tens of thousands of dollars, but you cannot even go and put a page up where you can have your contact information, where your staff can be there, your email address can be there, and then you telling me, say you won't govern the country, and that staff, when they speak of the House of Liberia don't even have a web page. That is embarrassing. Go to Africa, go to Ghana, go to Rwanda, go to Burundi, go to any of these countries. You can stay right here and go to the House of Representatives website. How much will it cost if you're taking 10,000, 15,000 a month to take $1,000 and say, let me invest in let me invest in my office network. We're in the internet age. Everybody uses internet these days. Okay, where your laws can be there, where people can contact you, but you sit down and say, oh, the journalist didn't call me on my personal phone. How in the hell the journalist will know your phone number when it's not published? It's not published. You don't have any publication.
So, Alex, do you think that Foco and Formula is a new formula? Was it okay for them to boycott the retreat? Now I know you said they could have retreat in the Capitol building and everything, but sometimes they happen on the job. People go to separate areas like hotels and stuff to have the office thing. Just beside learning and reviewing other things, they would be able to interact with one another more from a different space. It can even happen. You got your girlfriend, you just keep her in the hall, your wife, you keep her. You have to change areas, for you to have real fun.
That is okay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's okay for them to do that. But for some of the representatives to boycott the retreat, that is, to me, they're going to miss on the learning process of the retreat. They don't have the right to do that. If they're taking taxpayer money as salaries, they have to be making sure that they are part of these things. That's my point. So
yeah, no, I'm not supporting them boycotting if they are paid to go there. All right. But then it comes back to the leadership. What did the leadership do to educate the people in the House of Representatives of the importance of this retreat? If the leadership, we underestimate what bad leadership can do to a country or society. And that's what we have in Liberia. Because if you sit down, like Lofa was saying, and you educate the representatives, regardless of party, yes, the importance about going to this retreat. We're going there so we can regalvanize ourselves, so we are feeling in the eyes of the public. So please come. I expect your attendance. Maybe you won't have this kind of public shame where people boycotting it. But if you just jump on one day, we didn't hear for this retreat until yesterday, today, and you just say, oh, let's go to retreat because the Senate went to retreat, and so you just go to a hotel, waste money again to a hotel. When Liberian people even got money, there's all these other problems. We're going to go make a Lebanese man rich again.
Okay.
That's what we're doing.
All right, Alexa. Yeah, your point, you have a valid point, but we have to we would balance each, and you did balance that. You don't think they should have missed it. At the same time, it's a waste of taxpayer money, and the Liberian people need things to be done in the country more than that retreat is important. Yeah. So I will go to Dr. P. Bale. What his take on that?
Well, Grace, I think let me say this, that I think the retreat is always necessary for new legislature to go into a retreat. New House of Representatives, others to have a retreat to understand basic parliamentary principles, and all of that. And what I understand from this, this retreat was partly sponsored by a partnership. I mean, through the UNDP, USAID, they have representative from the European Parliament always there who was helping them go through certain things. I think it was necessary, it was great. Compare $595,000 to $16,000 spent. What the House did, they were able to. I bet they saw what the public outcry from the Senate, and they say, you know what, we probably not going to go this route. We're going to seek partners who will help. I don't think anything was wrong, to be honest, of them going to Robert Field for a retreat when it was not wholly. They were not spending $500,000 in 2 days, and they were tapping into other areas that could give them grant and stuff to help them for that retreat. I think it was fine. I don't think anything was wrong. I don't think the representatives should have stayed from the retreat. They could have learned a lot. We have international partners who have volunteered to come there and help you. I think Representative Foco, I think he needed to chill a little bit. I will say this: he needed to chill because he all over the place. Just talking. Some of them make sense. Some of them don't make sense at all. I think he was a chill. Go there and see if it did not work in his interest. Then you come and make a statement. But they were not devaluing $10,000-$20,000 there. They were not there merit making. It was live. We saw the training. We saw the European representative and other were there in helping them in this training. So I think he should have gone than to stay back and just make nothing. You cannot oppose everything. $16,000 was spent on the entire retreat, according to the Speaker office. and they are going to create. They are going to give. He issued a statement and everything that they are going to give report, financial breakdown of how the whole thing went. But I think they are representative. They are representing the country. Yeah, they went to Ralphie Hotel, but they were not as wasteful as the Senate that were actually there to divide money, find a way of dividing money. But they actually had an agenda. They invited a partner who tapped into them and gave them money to do the string. So I don't think anything was wrong with that from my point. I don't think anything was wrong.
Thank you, Peabody. And the retreat, I agree with Peabody. I said it earlier on. The retreat is there to review information concerning the House of Representatives. Some new people have come in that house. They need to know the laws and they need to know the regulations, the bylaws, the constitution, all those things about that house, how it works. So you're supposed to be present to learn in that aspect, not to say that's why most of them don't know. And then they start doing all kinds of things when it comes to making decisions in the HOR. So let's just be clear. I will let Lofa come in, and then we want to welcome Toga Alexander be there.
So
you look different, Toga. What happened?
First of all, let's set the premise. Let's set the premise about this whole issue of Safoko not being a part of this retreat. We must consider situation. I wholeheartedly support his decision to not be a part of it. Any other lawmaker who chose to not be a part of this retreat, I support you heavily. There are several circumstances that we must take into consideration. Okay? First of all, I consider this entire process wasteful spending. You know why? It could have been done virtually. Virtual training. You don't have to take money and go sit in no hotel and socialize. Virtual training. They all could have been in their homes and getting this virtual training. Grace, you live in the Western world. You don't often have to go to your office to do training. You have it done online. It is given to you. It could have been done online.
I also travel to different states for training, Lofa. I always pay my way and put me in hotel.
Right. Let me. Okay, so now you guys want to interrupt me. You were talking, I didn't say anything. I sat back and with it, right?
Lofa, 2 minutes will soon be done.
Oh,
Chris not playing today.
So now okay. Let me use my 2 minutes wisely.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest here. Those guys needed not to be in any hotel to enrich another Lebanese or give out money when our students at the universities can barely afford admissions, when people are still being kept outside of medical institutions. You want to think innovatively? What I would have done, I would have asked all of our lawmakers to come at the Capitol and use 2 or 3 days where we can all drive to the Capitol and use that extra time and carry on. Eventually, as things start to improve, like every other institution around the world, as a compliment, all human, we are incentive driven. Okay, we are going to go to just elaborate on what we started with. So now we are going to go to the Farmington Hotel. We'll go sit there, and what we learned previously, we will now go over it, and hopefully we can apply it, because it appears as though the first time we did it at the Capitol, it really didn't work. But virtuality, virtual learning environment is all over. Why is it that they themselves cannot implement that? I am so saddened to hear us sit out here today and talk about, yeah, it was okay for them to go. I support anybody who boycotted the idea of going to sit at the Farmington Hotel and take free money from Liberian, because well, really?
Yeah,
that's how we
you talk about 3 minutes.
Really?
Lofa is becoming very radical.
Chris is in charge.
Your time is up, brother man. Let me tell you, face-to-face interaction is different from being on Zoom and on the internet, reacting with your colleagues. So, I mean, this is not COVID-19 time. Those days are gone.
No, it's not.
They have new people voted in the house. I will still continue to say that they need to interact with each other. Some people going to Capitol building and don't even speak to one another.
But Chris, are you going to make a case, or are you moderating? Are you making a case?
No.
Are you moderating?
Need a case on.
Because the whole moderating aspect of it, it seems like you're trying to make the case. because
No,
people
she just no.
they have to make it fit for the
She
show.
Lova, you gotta calm down. I'm the host tonight.
Yeah, you're the host tonight, but you're making a case for them. Let us
No,
make our case and and keep it.
Right. I agree with Lofa on this one.
Thank you.
Our own view, we can tell the people our opinions, what we feel. So that's what I feel. But I will let Toga come in. Toga says you in Liberia. What is your take on this?
So I don't know whether it is possible for Lofa to put up the communication written by the representative Safoko. I just put it in the chat room. And I think that communication will inform us as to why he made the decision instead of us speculating. I don't know if it's possible for us to put that communication up and whether someone can, or I could read it.
Look, you can put it up.
Yeah, look how cool. But we could be talking yet.
Go ahead.
Yes. So I think from a summary point, all right, it's an open letter to the Speaker and members of the House of Representatives. And from a summary perspective, before it goes up and everybody sees it, yeah, I think Safoko point stems from the fact that there has been controversy over what happened at the Senate's retreat. Safoko is insinuating in this letter that there was some money still taken from the national covers of the country for this retreat. He is saying that if our international partners mean well for the legislature like they are doing to support some of the causes, they should be able to honor everything and they will not take a cent from the national covers. That's his argument. Because, according to him, there are hospitals in this country that still lack medication. There are teachers that cannot get their pay on time. Right now, I heard, just before coming on the show, I heard Ellis Jones even talking about the motorcycle situation. And it's serious. Today, I got some intelligence that the government is trying now to procure some buses. I am being told over 400 brand new buses are expected in the country, which is good. What are brand new or used buses, but which is true. But then the thing is, I mean, before they even made a decision to, to take some radical decision against the motorcyclists, they had no real step taken towards how they could mitigate the whole traffic situation in the country. If you enter the country today, you will see a huge line of people along street corners. They can't find buses to get anywhere. So Safoko is saying, look, let's redirect some of the money that we want to take for national covers for this retreat. Let's redirect some of them towards procuring buses for the people. The University of Liberia, for example, do you know, because of Senator Sir Joseph's buses, the university could cope with the entire situation. Today, I think they're having some hurdles there with the senator. The senator has withdrawn all his buses from the university. That has culminated into offer on the situation where they say they want the president of the university to step aside. The students have been rioting. The police have been going there and tear gassing them. All these have been situations because of lack of resources to sort out all of these issues. Now, while these situations are ongoing, then people take money from the national covers to go for retreat. Now, it's my intelligence that they're trying to play a game around the public, given what happened with the senators. But it's not actually 16,000. When you count 16,000 divided by 73 members of the House of Representatives, you're talking about peanuts here. No lawmaker. I know Capitol Hill. I worked there before. 16,000.
But people have sponsors, though. They have sponsors.
I agree.
I agree.
They
are motivated.
Everybody will come back in because they got a protest going on at Union. So
I agree they got sponsor. But it's mind-blowing for someone to say they took 16,000 from the covers of the legislature, from the House of Representatives covers, to go for a retreat. It's highly impossible.
But we don't know. We don't know yet.
But you can't conclude that because
my information is that figure is around $3,000 per person. That is my information.
Toga, you going to read the post?
So something is not right. And at certain point in time, it will come out. A lawmaker will not openly decide to just stay away from a retreat of the rest of his colleagues if he does not have sufficient information that they took certain amount of money from the national covers.
Okay, so Toga, I'll tell you,
Now, something is telling the public.
we can't say
And
that
if you
here,
read
okay?
through the letter
Now,
properly, you
have
get to know that he's making a position known to us.
But Toga, read it so great before Grace cut you off because you're not agreeing with her now.
Yeah, no, I 2 minutes is already over.
My point
You can't
is-
say something.
My point is, I would go with what the host said until otherwise. I think
Until
he
we
should
have
have gone there.
information.
As far as concerned, that program was that it was sponsored by UNDP and the European partners. That's what
But
they
then
said.
release
Oh,
the
but
money to the public.
Dr. Peabody,
Tell
we
the
have
public-
often used
Tell the public
allegations.
what each of these sponsors are doing. This is an open government. We are fighting for open government initiative. Look,
Yeah.
UNDP is sponsoring this. They understand
But there's
the
a-
Irish
there's a-
the
there's a-
Irish
there's a
government is
order. All
sponsoring.
sponsors
Okay, I'm understanding the Swedish government is sponsoring now. We
Mhm.
all have been crying here for open government process. Tell us UNDP is giving us 10,000 and it's going toward lodging. This other group is giving us 5,000.
Look,
It's
man.
going towards. It's going
Toga,
towards.
when you talk
Don't-
about,
don't-
are you
don't-
talking
don't-
about,
be an open process.
You're talking-
Why are
if
they?
you talk about
They can tell
South
about
Focal,
16. If they can tell about 16,000 that they took from the national covers for this process, why they can also tell us how much they got from the partner?
if you
Why
talk
we not
about
know that?
South Focal are the same one that said last year or 2 years ago on national radio that people coming and begging for money and said they're taking 17,000 and they seen 7,000 taking and dividing them among people. He said that clearly on national radio and we had it live when I was on Spoon and we went after him. So it's South Focal, nobody else. He's nobody to come up clean. They'll come in and say, oh, he's being so transparent this time. He took it for a while. He was there for the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay,
He took enough money. So what
Okay,
more
John.
can tell us that Liberian people come and say now he's being so transparent and being so clean?
So Dr. Peabody, you
Okay,
disagree?
Dr.
Are you
yeah,
disagreeing
yeah,
So
with
this
yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing
yeah,
it's just a
yeah,
vlog. That whole
yeah,
vlog he's talking about. It's complete vlog.
I'm most
Vlog.
So Ellis Jones,
Everybody-
you hear you always talking transparency. You think
Toga,
you
need
think-
to stop. Toga,
you-
don't do that. Don't do that.
what?
Toga.
So let's do that.
No, let him answer this question. Let him answer the question.
Tonight, and I'm telling you that your time is over. When you come back,
Okay,
to speak,
All
you
right.
can add to that.
So we not. You want to read the letter?
I already read the letter. So what I'm
perfect.
saying to you is that
Kept asking you to read a letter, Toga. You didn't want to read a letter.
I wanted to,
Use
but
your
you
time
know,
to talk. No, don't.
no problem. No
you
problem.
don't do that.
He will get
You
listen.
have to show a little respect for people who hosting the show. I do
All
that
right.
for other people. And I
Yeah, that's
expect
right.
them to
You're
do that.
right.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah.
You're right.
So,
You're right, Chris.
so right now,
Mm.
the retreat is still going on. Until we can get full report of the retreat, we cannot come and make allegations against the House of Representatives. People think that these platforms are formed just to bash the government. All of us have different views and opinions on what's happening in Liberia, and we give our views and opinions. And that's the beauty of closing argument. Nobody can tell us bad way. Yeah, no, it's not happening here. Everybody will get their own opinions and we disagree to agree and we'll do it in love. Lofa, there's a protest going on. The people say you did not land it in my impasse. And Lofa didn't land, you gotta get Lofa a chance. So I will give Lofa 35 seconds to land and then we'll move on from this retreat.
I'm glad that the people had to protest for me to land and with everything that is going on. The point that I wanted to make here is just exactly what Toga is saying. And I'm glad that you also insinuated that we should not simply take things and run with it. The person who's providing the information is not an outsider. He is a representative as well. Why are we trying to dismiss his information, but then listening to those who attended this or retreat? All we are saying here to the public in the act of transparency, funds are provided prior to them having to attend this retreat. So they could provide public information. And this is where we come in again and speak of the ability to make information readily available via the websites, whether Instagram sites, all of these things. We now live in the virtual world. Let them utilize all of these resources that are available to them. And I again say, all of those who disagree with the idea of attending this retreat, I support their idea because those funds could be allocated to other things that would benefit the people directly, as compared to going to socialize and pretending to be a part of some kind of training section. I disagree.
Thank you very much. And we
Just
will
add
wait on.
something.
I
Great,
will say,
moderator. Can I,
yeah.
moderator,
Can you
add
do
something?
5 seconds, because by 6:30 I will have to decide. I won't put the premise for the third discussion before I leave. 6:30 for 6 minutes, and I will come back. I have to do a presentation for 6 minutes. So, Dr. People, they come in with 2 seconds, and then we'll move to the next topic.
Look, I'm not. You can't rule it out that Liberian people are suffering. Liberian people have been suffering. They've been suffering for a while, and we can't rule out that our legislature has been very corrupt. And part of the corruption we see there, you can't live in glass house and throw stone. Safoko had been getting huge sum of money as representative. He was on national radio and TV a few years back, talking about how the 7,000-8,000 getting because people are begging for money. And yesterday we're making 18,000 and people begging us for money, and we get it, we got to give it the same money. So now he's coming out and being trying to be the most transparent person after missing a major training sponsored by the international partners that you will learn from. You decide to, that's his right. He can decide to go or stay away. But I'm going to go by what I heard until otherwise, and the other come up. But what I saw today live, I saw international partner presenting at that meeting. So Safo again, he got to be careful, otherwise you'll get caught in the cookie jar very early, because back history we have, the archive can tell us some of the things that he did, some of the money they accepted, the 30,000 years back, a few years back, that it all took. So he better be careful, because a lot of things coming up now that I'm seeing. I'll stop right there.
Thank you so much. So I will say again, we will wait for the report for the House of Representatives, the HOR, to bring it on the report, and then we'll compare to what Safoko is saying. I don't think it's any substantial reason that you should miss your job retreat. In America, you will not be paid, and we all know it, and that's just the truth. So we're going to move on to the next discussion. This is the closing argument. The best show ever that's trending in Monrovia right now. If you're not on here listening, then you're missing something. But
I like that.
Yeah, but we will move on. There is a fair employment practice that's supposed to happen in Liberia. So I wanted to speak on Speaker Kofa selectively hiring Talia Ure without an open and fair employment process. So for me, I want you to come on the topic in whether it was right for him to do that or whether it was wrong for him to do that. So Talia was hired as a senior staff to his office. Whether I don't know whether it's to his office itself or to the Liberian legislation office as a whole, and that's where we need to separate the two stuff. I know the fair practice of employment means that for you to hire somebody, you have to go through due process and put the information out there for the vacancy for people to apply. And you actually look at the application and choose the right person for the position. Now, the people within that entity that already work there, they're supposed to be ready looking, they're supposed to be the top people that's supposed to get the senior staff position, not just somebody coming from the outside in abruptly taking it, because it's a learning person. You have to have experience in that position to be able to do that. So I want you to come in with your take on whether it was right for Speaker Kofa to hire her just like that, whether it was in his space that he hired her, or was it wrong that he did it. I want us to speak about that. So I will bring Chuchu in for him to talk. And I will leave for 6 minutes at 6:30 and come back. It will still be discussing the topic. I will put Dr. Peabody over for the 6 minutes, and I will be back.
She wanted to
Thank you very much, Chris.
I like it.
I like the order.
Taking break and she tell us,
No. I really like the order that Grace is instilling in this closing argument, making sure everybody speak, nobody. So please, thank you very much for that. We have to lead by example.
Yeah, taking away from others or previous effort, right? Great.
Okay, I'll get to you, Olofa.
Go ahead.
I will give you your flower, Olofa.
Okay,
but for now, Grace is doing a good job.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes.
But let me just say this, Grace. I think I wrote an article in Smart News today and condemning, not just criticizing, condemning Speaker Kofa. for just unilaterally going out and just picking somebody, someone especially who I believe don't need a job in Liberia. And if you read the article, you will see my points, so I encourage everybody to go and read it. There are a lot of students, there are a lot of graduates, there are a lot of law students in Liberia who've been looking for a job for 5 years, 10 years. There's a lot of people in Liberia that are well qualified. And these people are never given the opportunity to work and feed their families. As soon as some small job comes about, the first thing we do, we go and find our friends, our buddy, our friend children who are already privileged, who already got several other opportunities. Whatever that amount is that's paid to Taylor Ure, I'm sure a lot of people need it more than her. And I don't think she's more qualified than any of the other people in Liberia that have been working, journalists and other people who can do far better job. So those are the things that I'm talking about, where this decision alone has made me lost all confidence in this man, because he lived in America. He knows that if you're going to, this is a public position. Yes, you have the right to select who you want to select, but at least have a fair process. Have a fair process. Number one, I will continue to condemn and criticize this House of Representatives as incompetent, inept, and useless. How can you have the Republic of Liberia House of Senate? You don't have any website. You're Speaker of the House. You don't have a website. You go into Facebook. So you're going to put the job posting on Facebook. If somebody won't contact you from an international community for business, they're going to go look at Facebook and befriend you and then send you a request before you accept it. It's ridiculous. Lofa, I just put out the parliament of the Rwandan government. You can go there. You can see all the parliament members. You can see what they are doing. And in line to what we just discussed, I'm not here to support this government. They have money for spokesperson. They have money allocated for public relations. They should hire a public relation officer to come and explain to the Liberian people, to go on shows like this, to tell them why they're having retreat or what is the significance of it. The money that is allocated in the budget is not for you to put in your pocket, come to America, go to your children's graduation, do all this one. It's for you to serve the public. And the journalists are very frustrated because they don't even know how to reach you. They got to know somebody that you know or like before they can even send you an email. So I will continue to condemn them and criticize them. MFB is running a serious campaign to make sure the Liberian House of Representatives and Senate build a website where all the activities, all the programs and the announcement can be, and also every hiring. I indicated lastly that he needs to set up a committee, also an independent committee, to vet candidates for all representatives. Not just because the person comes from your county or that your brother or that your, that's how corruption starts. Everybody should be entitled to work in government, and everybody should have a fair chance of working in government. So I'm going to pound them. I'm going to keep writing about them, embarrassing them until two things. They build a website and they have an office that is run that will evaluate people who work there on a fair basis. Then Taylor Ure can go just like anybody else and apply for a job, get interviewed, and if they won't get a job to her, then I'm fine with it. But for now, we hope that he cancel her employment. Let her go through the process, like everybody else, and let this be open to every Liberian young person who wants to work in the House of Representatives. Now, he can hire her as his private secretary where he paying her out of her pocket. But as long as Liberian government money, right, they're going to be paying her, we have the right to demand that a process, a fair process, and somebody of a lawyer, legal background should know better. It's discriminatory employment. Thank you.
Okay, Alex, thank you. Let's go to Togai, and then before I come in, let's go to Togai.
So I've seen this thing from different dimensions. First of all, the speaker, like the office of the vice president, they got some exclusive rights,
of course,
to bring in people in their offices as they feel fit.
Exactly.
I think the vice president has between 60 to 100 employees. I think the speaker is between 30 to 60 employees, just like that. There are one or two people there who are civil servants. Like the office of the vice president got some civil servants who are exclusively there.
Mm-hmm.
The House of Representatives and the Senate got the central administration. The central administration are civil servants, people who work in procurement departments, people who work in finance department. They got those kind of central administration. Those people are there time immemorial.
Yeah.
I know a young man is there as the press and public affairs president. Robert Haynes is there. And it's true what you're saying about the issue of website. Yes, they need to have that. In fact, they need to have a whole server of the entire legislature. I mean, once you're an employee over there, you have an ID number, you should be able to have a Wi-Fi system where you come to work, you're able to use your computer right there and work. These things, even I remember when I was working in the legislature in the first year or second year of Ellen's administration, we had even landline phones that we could call from office to office. We could call even internationally. Those landline phones were brought in by Lepteco at the time. So all these systems need to get back in play. In spite of what I'm hearing from the Senate, but it's my understanding that the president pro tem is also working on a running water system, and they're now trying to build a polo tank at the legislature. I mean, in this dispensation, people still have to be carrying water from ground floor all the way to the top floor of the legislature. All these things are terrible experiences. They have to change over time. They have to change over time. All right. But I think the speaker, with the issue of Tele-URE, I think the speaker is trying to build a formidable team. Really into it, he's building into the future. All right. He's building an alliance with the UREs. The UREs, one way or the other, are some political power players in the country. He's trying to build a team. Who knows? Probably the speaker is also building a team for 2029. He needs to post sophisticated people. Tele-URE over the years has been working in, Nigeria. So she seems to have some very strong base in Nigeria. Nigeria has a lot of big power players in terms of financial capabilities, political experiences, and all of that. So maybe the speaker wants to tap into that Nigerian thing. I also agree with you that, we have a system in the country where the rich always gets richer, the poor gets poorer. It's a system like that.
It's around the world, man. It's around the world.
It's like that over time. I mean, you give that sort of portfolio to Tilia, the next thing is she must have a diplomatic passport. She'll be flying the world, going to conferences on behalf of the speaker. Those kind of things will be happening. But I think what he's doing over there is to build a solid team. And I think the speaker is going to be announcing more serious people in his office. And it must also speak to other legislators and people in the higher echelon of power. Many of our people, the last time we had a serious issue in the country where Councillor Kanyo Barbara was appointed by the representative from the newly elected representative from Granjide. It became a serious issue. Why would Kanyo subject himself to coming that low, to wanting to be chief of staff to a representative? I mean, do you know what it means to be a chief of staff? Except for the fact that the way we treat our chief of staff here, that's the problem. Because the way we treat our chief of staff here, but actually the chief of staff to a legislator should be equivalent at least to a deputy minister portfolio. So it means every benefit and privilege a deputy minister has, something similar that should be given to the chief of staff of a lawmaker. At least with a car, at least some good salary you should be getting as a chief of staff. But I tell you today, the chief of staff of a member of the House of Representatives, your everything, meaning your gas slave, your Liberian dollar, your US dollar, all come out to nothing more than 1,000 US dollars. So how do you bring serious-minded people to come run your office when that is the only money? So most people just got to be consultants. They sit down in the back and they just run consultancy because they ain't want to be driving to Capitol Building every day for 1,000 that will cancel that in 2 months. It becomes a problem because most lawmakers have built a mindset that, look, the people can be our office staff. They help us doing the campaign. Then we bring them to Capitol Building. They know all the people from our different constituencies. When we bring them to Capitol Building and empower them to a level that a chief of staff should be empowered, they will take the jobs from us. And seriously, that is the reason they're doing some of these things. But the lawmaker, today, the guy who is just a press director of the House of Representatives, the guy still walks the street of Montreal, he can't even get a car. The director of press for the Senate, he can't even get a car to ride. How you expect your staff to be effective when you keep them out with other fear that many other king here, we also were starvers before to some lawmaker and we made our way here. It was not empowering these people, they will also take these jobs for us. It's been an entrenched issue. I think Speaker Kofa is trying to change that mentality to bring some serious people. I see many packet tomorrow, other serious people working in the office of the speaker. It makes a lot of sense. You got to bring serious people if you want to be a serious leader on Capitol Hill.
Let me come that far, go to Lufa. But yes, the speaker has the prerogative to appoint who he wants to appoint. Why we don't hold the president at that he bringing in people, he just appointing people. He didn't put the position out there that a civil servant should put it out there for people to go and apply for those jobs, and then the president can appoint that. The president can appoint at will and remove at will, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with the speaker appointing Tilia Ure to that position. I think she's a very smart young lady. She's been working in different areas. She's a businesswoman. She traveled. Even this rescue government, Tilia was one of those who provided a lot of help to Vice President Barker. I think she's well qualified, and I think it was a very smart move on the part of Speaker Kofa to bring in Tilia Ure on his team. I think she bring a lot to the table. And
I think yourself, if you listen to another device, we get
somebody's doing that.
Somebody there's echo in the back from somebody.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You know, so I think she bring a lot to the table. She was one of those who really rescued the rescue government that we see right now. Her contacts in Nigeria, her business, and all that she's involved in. I think that's a smart move. But the fact is, he can bring in anybody he wants to bring in. I don't think that should have gone through civil servant. Then we'll hold the president at that. How many people he bring in a government that they have to put that position out there? So that's why I'll start right there.
Let me just respond to Dr. Peabody real quickly. I think he missed it. You just 30 seconds to respond, Dr. Peabody. Nobody is saying that Speaker Kofa needs to go to services, the civil service, to get somebody that he wants. That's his right. We agree to that. Nobody is saying that the president is not doing it. What I'm saying, and in my article I stated that even when you have the right to select people, have an open process. You can't say Tilia Ure is more smarter than, for instance, Toga. The only way you know that until you create a public awareness and interview both Toga and Tilia Ure, and you will be able to select. We have to stop these things that we find wrong in our society and support it only because of an individual. That's what I'm saying. How we change the country? We have to change the country by good example.
What other people is saying is what is laid down by law. Like a member of the House of Representatives.
No, I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about ethical
your private
practice.
staff. That is the reason why if something happens to you on Capitol Hill, you go along with all those staff. They are fired immediately.
Everything is not in the law. Okay, everything is not in the law. That what you call ethical
maybe you want to hold the speaker up okay, that one different. You want to hold the speaker
there's
up
nothing in the law to
But
say
that has nothing to do with ethics, though.
Okay, and nothing in the law to say that our representative is supposed to build a website. There's nothing in the law, but it's good management and ethical practices.
That's a good point. You need a website. That's true. I agree.
That's not Wallace, government.
No, I agree with you that you need a website.
I think there's more than 30
That's the point I'm making.
on this.
Okay. All right. Let's move on, guys. It was Julia's turn. Did you want
let's go.
You know, this issue of appointments, I will kind of try to fit myself more like in the middle here because I want to see where, and not I want to, but I want to agree with Alex on the issue of some level of transparency, making the opportunity available to the general public. But here is my only concern, though. It will only be the idea of acting. You already have your eyes set on the specific individual you want to hire, but then you publish the job to thousands of Liberians and ask them to submit their resumes or, their intent. You go through the entire interview process, and then you made a decision to hire someone you already knew all along you were going to hire because it is your constitutional mandate, is your right. So I don't think we should maybe focus a lot on, we should focus on competence. It is truth that the process should be transparent. It should be made public. But at the same time, if we are to look at other parts of it, you will say to me that, okay, you put a young man, let's say if the job was posted out there, you call John Brown submitted his resume, and then tell you the speaker mind is already made up. Is it right? No, it's not right to other Liberians who are competent and probably far better off than Talia would do. But this is what we got ourselves into because, again, look at Fonati Kofa's record from the United States. Look at his record from the United States. You expect him to play fair game? When he came to Liberia, he was healed. Now, with that said, let me say this to you, and let me remind you, the fact that Fanatic Kofa's position is an elected position, that gives him a lot of right to do certain things. Just like in North Carolina. When I worked with the North Carolina State Treasurer, office, I did not know that the treasurer office was an elected position until Dell was leaving, who was the previous treasurer. When she was leaving, her entire office staff left with her. The entire office staff, they left with her. And the new treasurer brought his staff in. I was like, whoa. We had to literally give everybody different devices and all of these things. What I'm trying to say here, the fact that this position is an elected position, it gives them certain privilege to do certain things as compared to other people. Like the civil servants, I think those positions are posted out there, and hopefully they go through the actual process of bringing on competent Liberian. Now, am I sitting here and supporting the idea of Talia Ure being hired because there aren't any other Liberians who could probably, serve that office well? No, because I think there are. But again, the fact that constitutionally he reserves the right to do it, I don't think I should frown against him for exercising his constitutional mandate when it comes to that part of it. I just hope that she is competent. Now, when it comes to the issue of competent, then that's where we can have the argument as to whether she can actually implement.
I think she's well competent enough, Lofa. I think it's good to read up for her. I've read up for her.
I mean, that's your view, Dr. Peabody. You may think that she's competent, but if I were to ask everybody on here, I don't know if all of us would say the same about that.
Well, but I know
that we said Joseph Boga was competent.
That's why everybody has their own view. But I think
and like Alex said, like we said,
and people are not competence and degree.
I just wanted to pitch him a little bit here. I agree with Alex on a few things, but also to remind the listener and of course some of the panelists who may not know, the Liberian legislature is an interesting body historically in our body politics. Under the Unity Party government, anyone can check that record. The United States government, through USAID, actually honored a project called modernization, legislature modernization. They actually did a website, they brought a speaker, they brought even devices how to count vote. I mean, everything they did. But because that's one area in government that people just go there to steal. They do nothing. They go to work 2 times a week and they make all the money. They get a brown envelope and allocate all the things to themselves. They don't want themselves to be recorded. So all these devices, they intentionally damage them. Okay? Now, with public pressure, I hear Yomli, I hear all of it. Oh, we need to do website, we need to do more to modernize them. The USAID spent millions of dollars on this already. But the damage.
You can't manage it. You can't.
Okay? So all the things you're talking, Alex, I get you on that point. But I don't need to go more than that because I think Lofa Julius did a fantastic job here. We need to understand the public sector structure. Because our listeners are listening and some of them take for granted, maybe take as true what we say, what some people say. The appointment, and there are many ways you can do it. Not because the announcement not made on the radio or in the newspaper, it doesn't mean that maybe he did not solicit, he did not tell Menikapa Doma and say, look, get me at least 12 persons CV, let me review. It's probably he did that. We can't argue that. Maybe if Fanatic Kofa was sitting before, we can argue. How did you arrive as choosing just Talia Ure? He could explain himself better because he made that ultimate decision, that final decision. Maybe 5 names came to him and zeroed in on that. But again, let us not forget that office is the 3rd highest political office in Liberia. So decisions that are political. That's what I mean. I don't want to take more time.
Okay, we got a breaking news here. The president of Liberia, Joseph Boakai, finally made his assets public after
So
6.
I hear people talking. Where can I go to see it? It's on eMarshall. Let me go there.
It on eMansion, yes. I just seen it. They say
Can I hear somebody say congratulations?
I hope you are Echo Ben Loon.
Let's pull it up. Let's get it and pull it up.
yeah, they said the president has made public his assets declaration as part of his unwavering stand for transparency, aversion to corruption, and graft. The president said his action is a fulfillment of his commitment to upholding the Constitution and laws of Liberia, in addition to his dedication to fostering a culture of accountability, integrity, and good governance. After 6 months, after the public went wow, after everything, that he finally.
I hope his vice president will publish his assets, so those someone who knows some of his assets will know whether he was meeting some or he
So
including the house.
I don't know the structure in which Dr. Peabody really want to go through when it comes to this discussion.
Yeah, you want to talk about the asset?
I would like to speak to this asset declaration part of things here, because this is one thing some of us have consistently asked for. But I'll wait for Dr. Peabody to make his selection. How he wants to people to chime in.
Yeah, we will talk about the president. Welcome, Chairman Ben. Good to see you. And the president also appointed associate justice today. One, I think, Cornelia Clarence Jackson or something. Let me give you the right name.
Clinton Johnson.
Clinton Johnson. Let me give you the right name. Yeah.
I know her.
Yeah. The president appointed associate justice today. But gentlemen, let's start here. The president finally made his asset public today. Ben, since you just came, I want to give you the opportunity to start. You muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's good to be here, guys, and thank you again. I just want to thank you guys for holding the fort down. You know, it's a little crazy with everything that but yeah, I see the president.
No more apologies for you. You need to show off.
Well, no, I mean, I can make it. I'll make it as I can. Man. Sometimes, it gets a little tricky. Yeah, but I'm grateful for that. So listen, we commend the president for making his asset public. It shouldn't have taken this long. It's something he should have done immediately when he. I'm just interested. I see that he has some loans too, and I see that people used to be harassing me for loan business. So I'm very surprised that Joe Boakai owes the bank $200,000+, and I don't hear his. I'm not just trying to throw a dig at my uncle. Nothing major. I'm just laughing. But in all fairness, in all seriousness, I think this is what is needed for transparency. I think this should be a standard operating procedure. I think the code of conduct should be amended that calls for people, when they declare their assets, once you're a public official, you should make it public. I think this notion that, it's the law that you don't have to make it public and you hide behind that law. If you choose to that's why public service is not compulsory, right? If you want nobody to know what you got, what you're worth, stay out of public service. Just stay out of public service. Nobody will ask you if you're a private businessman. Nobody knew Musa Belede was worth $30+ million until he became a public official, right? Nobody knows. So I think, again, and I think this is a great step in the right direction. Now he needs to go a little further and issue he needs to issue. I feel like I can't talk today. He needs to issue an ultimatum to all of his appointed officials, right? All of them, and give them, I think, 72 to a couple of days to declare and make their assets public. Champion the fight for transparency. Make it very clear to people that, you know what, I'm going to be the transparent president. Sponsor the fact that he is going to go ahead and lead that fight. So I commend him for doing that.
All right. Let's go to Lofa. I know you wanted to talk on this, Lofa. Let's start with you.
So with the issue of assets declaration, why I will commend the president for the fact that he took, he took the bold step that we thought President Weah would have taken 6 years ago or more. I still feel like I think the purpose of this whole asset declaration is defeated to some extent. He caved into the public outburst with everything that is happening, with the fact that his government is crumbling. Now he thought, okay, at least I should do this so something positive can come out of my government. It wasn't done because he believes in transparency. But I want to congratulate him at least for listening and doing it. But what I hope to see and hear of him, like Ben rightfully said, hopefully he will amplify the message to make sure that all of those he's appointing to government offices will declare their assets, okay, prior to ascending to those positions, or even having to go through everything else, confirmation or what have you. But this is where again we come to the issue of expectation. President Boyka knew.
Jeremy, that cow worth $16,000.
That one was looking at.
Yo,
What kind of cow is that?
Yo,
No.
man, I was going to come to that.
I'm about to share this.
Sorry, Lola.
No, it's okay. I'm glad that you brought this also, Ben. People would not feel like I'm not trying to appreciate the president asset declaration. And you guys see the reason why some of us have been consistently asking these guys to declare their assets, and they play it off because we will go through it. Liberia is no longer like she was a few years ago. I can agree that we find ourselves in this static mode where we are not going forward as fast as we wish we would. But people are now paying attention to the little things. Thank God for the social media, that the likes of Dr. Peabody and others can literally commit themselves to come on this platform almost every day and say, we will discuss the people issue and we will highlight the ills in society. We will expose the bad ones. Just reading this entire thing, when you read through the entire asset declaration thing, it's confusing and it's embarrassing that President Boyka will even post some of the things that he posted on here. But now it will be left with the people of Liberia to make their rational judgment, knowing who he is. I did not expect this from him, but I held him accountable and he lived up to what I hoped for, that he will at least publish something. So now Amara Conan will have to do his. Edwin Snow, who never done it in his entire time, and other people, and Ellis Tyler will also follow suit.
Sorry, I texted with somebody. The people already digging it.
Listen, so guys, let me make a quick comment here.
Yeah, Calvin, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm looking through this asset declaration. It's kind of striking though. If you take the president of Liberia's salary, which I believe is less than $10,000, I don't know how he's going to get rid of this liability, because after taxes and what have you. So at the end of 6 years, if this debt is gone, it will be interesting to know how he paid the $201,500. It will be interesting to know that. But I want to go back on the property's value, and that's part of the issue we have this concern. The cow issue. I have 5 cows on my land, so I'm not going to talk much on that because I've not sold one yet, so I don't know the market value. But at least
his salary, Calabu, his salary is 13,000.
Right, 13,000 and 13,447 cents. $400.47.
What they call gross salary annual? That means I think there's a mistake over there.
No, there's a mistake. There's a mistake on this.
It should be annual salary.
This is supposed to be monthly.
I think the 13,000. Let me help you guys.
I think monthly.
I think it's a conversion. It's a U.S. conversion to his salary.
That's why I say it's supposed to be monthly.
Yeah, it can be annual.
It's not annum. It's not a year. It's 13. It's not 13 a year.
But that's what it says. But that's what it says on here, per annum, right?
No, per annum is
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I think it
They
sounds about right.
they are
I
telling
think the
us
salary
yearly.
is right.
No,
Okay,
but it's,
so
no, but
Because I
okay.
think
So
what they do is
let's,
they pay. I
so
think
let's
they
educate the
pay
people a
them
little bit. Alice, you do the numbers guy.
what? But you can't.
the
You can't
salary, the
compare to what-
13,000.
What does per annum means? Per annum means
Yeah,
yearly.
that means yeah, but it could
Yeah.
be up. Okay, so he just became president for 6 months, right?
Uh-huh.
So the amount that he collected, it's probably a conversion because I think the president makes $95,000 US, right? So maybe it's a pro rate from.
So that's my
January.
point. So that's my
So
point.
No,
My point
but
is
So they need to correct it.
that's an error.
They need to correct it.
So
Correct.
we can impute what it means because we are not his finance
of
advisor.
course.
No, but you see, the declaration is not for future. The declaration is how much you have at that particular time.
And he has to
So
do it
when he
every
put
3
that-
years. According
Right,
to the law, it's
right.
every 3 years.
No, but you
Okay,
see,
so-
Alex, if you are earning your salary,
I'm back.
that will be your income. It will be part
But
of
that should be in a wrong. Hold on. So it's in the wrong place because if he's
Yes.
earned it, then that should be either
well,
cash or asset.
Yeah.
It shouldn't
Yeah,
be
it
an
will be
annual
in
salary.
the cash column. It will move it in the
It
cash
should be in the
column.
cash column.
No,
If you would tell the people
Let
say,
me highlight something.
about it.
else.
Be about it.
Right.
You would tell the people say you get good stuff, never because this is embarrassing the way
So,
one
but
just
let-
glares
but-
over it.
I was talking.
Grace, take all your show, Grace.
I didn't end my statement. here.
Okay, so we're
So-
in your statement, so we're gonna move on from this.
Everybody,
But Kelabo,
Yeah, I
Kelabo.
want Kelabo to lay
Yes.
30 seconds. Kelabo, can you?
I
give
think
me 30
it
seconds?
is stated on here though. It said total annual income 93,447. You see that? Can you guys
Yeah.
see it?
Now
Yeah,
there's so many
that's
thousand the president makes.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it. That's it. That's true.
Yeah, no, it is stated right there. It said
It's stated there.
93.
It is
Yeah, it's
stated
stated
there,
right there.
93,000.
Yeah, but
Right.
he hasn't earned that money yet, so it can be an asset.
So you can declare it.
You can't
But-
declare something you haven't earned.
Yes.
But
Because
he
the
did.
asset declaration is not an aspirational document. It's something
Correct.
that you have in your possession.
Correct.
Your liability,
Right.
your current holding. That's what you declare. Not what you're gonna earn 6
Correct.
years from now or 2 years from now.
Or a year from now.
Okay. But
So
let
it
me
should be on a cash the
let me
amount
end
that
my
he's already
comment.
earned.
But it's
listen,
there.
Or
let me just end my comment on the pig issue because I'm a pig farmer. Currently, I have 215 pigs on my farm.
But you real worth it. You got money.
So I'm looking at this
So
president.
for my
I'm like,
GMB conversion, you a millionaire.
I'm like, how many pigs he has? That he has 6,400. I like to know the number of pigs because I have 215 pigs on my farm. And in fact,
Kelabo, we would like you to please hurry up with your statement.
Oh.
Kristen,
Omar, can you please remove the paper from the screen?
Okay, Grace,
no, we were discussing the asset declaration
I
though.
will stop. I didn't even want to
Yeah,
come
we
on this show.
we're discussing the asset declaration, but I think you're discussing enough. We have other topics. We can't dwell on one thing for long. We're not going to listen to get a book farm. How many pigs he got here farm?
Grace, we just
got-
Grace, I think we had about 3 more people to go. Kelabo, Toga, and
Yeah,
And,
okay, so Toka, can you come on now?
I haven't gone yet.
Is it for you, brother man? Sorry about that. Because you discussed the real nitty gritty, but you're talking about your farm now.
No,
So, Grace, I hope the way you conduct it today, when it comes to you doing it, I'm
Oh,
the only one on here.
she's the host, eh?
She's hosting
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
I hope you
You
will
know,
understand that.
I'm trying to understand how she get and she just like, okay, we're not going to talk about this.
No, she's hosting.
She's the host.
I just want to
Here's
remind
the
her
moderator.
when someone else is hosting, she will not use the gender card. I'm the only female on here. Go
Go
ahead.
Can you just move on right now?
Okay.
Can you come in?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
2 minutes, sir.
I don't think the president has done the Liberian people any favor by publishing his asset. First of all, the declaration of his asset was delayed by 16 days, over 2 weeks. That's from the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. That's what it says. So the president delayed in declaring his asset, and the publishing of his asset, that was something he said on his campaign trail that he would have done. He did not need the Liberian people to pressure him to do this. And this is very unfortunate that he would be pressured over and over before he could publish his asset to the people. This is very embarrassing. And I hope all of the other people who are connected to the president, who are in the government, will take also some key measures in also publishing or declaring their asset. The last time the LACC was talking about over 500 persons or so who have now published their asset in the government. And the president, for him to begin to take serious measures against these people, he himself needed to also come in line. The fact that he's now coming up, you know, to publish his asset today is commendable, but I think this is not a favor to the people. This is something he promised the people. And one of the things, our leaders must always be held accountable. We can't just be using campaign trails as just time to just say anything to the people. And immediately we take office, then everything we said around the campaign trail becomes useless. Because the president, in fact, we always say our people sometimes they just vote because they won't vote, you know, but sometimes I think the messaging that you gave them is on that basis. They voted JMP because the people felt that the man will bring serious integrity, will bring serious credibility to the public space. Immediately the man got elected, then the man said, we got to get in boxing ring with him before he can publish his asset.
Okay,
right,
so
so
the thing is that
this is completely disappointing. This is
okay.
completely disappointing. And I hope we can learn from this. Political actors, when you get on campaign trail, please learn to live by what you say to the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toga. Ben would like to welcome you on the platform. I wasn't here when you came on, so I would like to welcome you. I'm the host today. So have you made your statement already?
You're too serious for me, man. You're too serious for me.
I think she can give you another move.
I don't want you. I don't like you as a host. Greg, you can always be insane. You're too serious. Yeah, you're too serious today. But,
Okay.
but no, it's good to be. I did make a brief statement, but let me just use 30 seconds and then I will drop it. I agree with what Toga just said. I think look, and for me, I like to take the good out of this. It's happened. He's you know, he fell for the pressure, and it shows you that public pressure does work. When people mount the pressure, you know, like Lo-Fi said the other day, you know, sometimes it's very easy for us to, you know, get despondent, to feel like, listen, there's nothing's going to change, right? We saw recently pressure made Amara Konen to say he's going to return money to the central bank. We now see public pressure making the president come out to release his which this is, you know, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did it. But again, like I said, the fact that he is starting off his presidency, releasing his assets, we now have a clear understanding of what he's worth, right? At least based on what he has told us. So when he released his MIP assets in 3 years from now, we expect that his asset will grow. We expect that his income will grow. He's president, right? He's working, so he's gaining income, and we expect that he will be transparent to be able to make all of that public. And then when he is leaving the presidency, we'll get a sense of what he's worth. And it would not have to be the same situation what happened with President Weah, where his asset had to be leaked to the public for people to kind of see. So I would take the good out of this. I think he deserves some credit here. Not that he's doing us a favor, Toga. I agree with you 100%. Again, like I said, but let's do this thing the right way, right? The last thing I would say is let the president champion the amendment of the code of conduct. Let it be mandatory. When you declare your asset, it should be mandatory that if you're a public official, you should make that asset public for the people to know what you are worth, that you are coming to manage their resources, right? The other thing, though, and I would say maybe we should talk about this. I will call out my friend Senator Darius Dillon. When the CDC was in power, when the CDC controlled the national legislature, when they controlled the Senate, Senator Dillon proposed a bill for $5,000 for maximum $5,000 salary for senators and members of the national legislature. His reason for that not being pushed forward at that time was because he claimed the CDC controlled the Senate, right? The CDC had the pro tem, they had everything. Now the pro tem is Senator Yomi Kanga Lawrence. He is a part of leadership. I will call out my friend and I will expect him to pick up the mantle to now let that bill surface now on the floor and let us see if we cannot get it passed. Let the House concur with it and take it to the president's desk. I'm sure it will go a long way in saving the Liberian people money when all these people would kind of be capped at $5,000 of salary, because his argument was they can live within $5,000. So I just wanted to use that as an opportunity from a Transparency standpoint to talk about that. But thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Good luck on that. We are Senator Dillon. But I would like to welcome Robert Gagwa Jr. to the platform. Robert, thank you for coming on. Who's the next person that I haven't talked yet because Robert has to come in on this
Yeah,
topic?
I haven't. Let me
Robert-
respond before Robert.
Alex,
came
yeah.
in.
Alex,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and then
Yeah,
Robert will
so
come in.
I think we have it. I agree everything with what Chairman Ben said. You know, it's a little too late, but he produced it. The pressure worked, and we'll continue to put more pressure. I want to go back to what was discussing. Let's take the weekend to go over it, and we can evaluate it. Maybe next week will be more, detail about it. But I think the House of Representatives, as they continue on their quote unquote, conference and what have you, Folendi Kova has not declared his asset yet or published it yet, correct? Okay. Amara Kone has not. Many people in the House of Representatives and the Senate
I
have
think
not
they've
done
declared,
that.
but they haven't published, which is
They
true.
haven't, right. They declare
Yeah.
having published. And so Folendi Kova is a leader of the House of Representatives. And as we're discussing earlier, most of you guys will say, oh, the way Liberia is, oh, why things don't work. A leader means you lead by example. So I'll go back to that point where people be saying, oh, that's his right. So does that mean if I'm a representative, because I have the right to appoint anybody, I can take file my baby ma, bring her in the House of Representatives? That's the precedent that this man is setting. And under his leadership, how, if somebody is doing that, how will he not be able to tell other representatives, you need to go through some process. You need to set a higher standard as a representative. If he's saying, oh, this is my right, I can do whatever I want to do. I can go tell somebody who ain't finished high school. I can put it in the Capitol building. That's what I'm talking about. There's a difference between laws and a difference between setting a standard. You see, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she set a standard in Liberia. There were a lot of things that she could have done or she refused to do. In fact, one of the things that I think people criticized her for was nepotism, putting her children into key position. But that was all right. She had a right as president to appoint ministers. And she went and did that. Is it not one of the things today that have stained her record and credibility internationally? So you don't forget about this thing about where somebody right and somebody, under the law. You don't do things in a leadership position just because it's your right or it's unlawful. You do it because you want the other people who are following you. Folendi Kova needs to be the first person to have a website for his office. He needs to publish his asset or declare and publish his asset. Before he say anything about changing government, anything about going to any conference to teach anybody, he should set the standard. And our man Musa Belede got to stop supporting that man. He's not this man spokesperson. The man hasn't even declared an asset. You have declared your asset. Then you see the man has leadership skill. What leadership ability is he showing when he has not declared his own asset to the public? He does not even have a way of people even knowing where his office is. And lastly, I'm not going to support be the spokesperson for any of these people because they have money allocated in the budget. They have to go and select people who can come on shows to talk about what the house is doing, to talk about what they are doing. It's not our job yet to be defending any public official. There's money in the budget for it.
Thank you.
So our job here is to critique them. Our job here is to hold them accountable on behalf of the Liberian people. So when I see some of my colleagues, oh, the man did this thing here, you're not his office staff.
Yeah, but
like my man Robert Gagwa and what the man Amara Kone. Yeah, Amara Kone, who have refused to come on this show, who has dodged this show. Okay, he has all the time to do anything. I think cell phone can work in Bobolu district. Musa Belede have been on the show more than 10 times. If on Nima County.
On Nima County.
Okay, if on other shows. But this man has invaded the show. He's invaded even a press conference. But then someone always sit here and talk about Amara Kone is a good man, his leadership. In my book, he's just as useless as all of them until he shows himself to be a distinguished person.
But Alex, that's your view. That's your view on certain things.
And that's the public view too. That's the public view.
Thank you, Alex. Dr. Peabody, you want 30 seconds before Gagwa?
No, what I would say to Alex here is everybody on the show have a diverse view. So what you think of American, what you think of Antifa, it may not be what we think of it. That's
Yeah.
you know.
But
That's
he
all.
just said that what he thinks, and what I like what Eric said was that these people need to have web pages. Period. I mean, how people gonna know what you're doing and what your people need to know. If my web page is coming, like you put my name, Grace Boy, you see my web page with everything I've accomplished. You mean my soap selling and all.
A lot of government ministry even got webpage. A lot of government
they need
ministry.
to have that. That's what he was saying. They need to have that. It's very important. They should
Listen.
make it mandatory for them to have that.
So now you guys,
Can I just chip in for 5 seconds?
Can I use
Grace,
30?
can I just chip in
I
for
need
5
Robert to
seconds?
come in, then you can come back. Then Robert have a due diligence on you on the time. Please. We cannot just ignore the man. Be coming in 3 seconds, 4 seconds. That's not fair to him. Mr. Gagwa, you can just speak.
I only came on to say that. Grace, man, look, I will lead the campaign for you to host this show another time again. You have done a
She's holding it tight.
Yes. You have done a great job. I see less interruption today. I don't know what happening, but
We got Mommy Pepper here.
yeah, I see less interruption today. So
let the celebration continue when someone else is exhibiting similar idea of moderating. I'm just saying I agree on the jealous part.
So you cannot interrupt the man.
You know what we'll be doing? Everybody that interrupt will be the host. In that way, they'll be calm and let other people talk.
I agree.
No, interrupt. We'll take us some time from you. We skip you on that discussion. That's all.
So Grace, you're doing a great job. And I think Alex just threw me a bit. I would not go for the bit. And so I will not respond to that, my name comment and the individual comment. But I would take a look at the president's access declaration, and I will commend him. We got to be fair. At least he has declared and published. And so I think we should all take a look at it, peruse it, and then we can make an informed analysis of it. But there's two things in there that I've already seen that made me laugh. So Boga says he's in debt. Boga is in debt. Huh? How is Boga in debt, but he was able to give $50,000 as a personal donation when he won the election? There's a contradiction there, Doc. Someone who is in debt.
But you got 57,000 in the bank.
You can't be in debt and you got that kind of money cash. You got that kind of money to spend. It doesn't make sense. This is not $5,000. This is not $2,500. People can be broke and it's relative, right? But if I'm in debt, where am I getting $50,000 cash from to make a donation and $25,000 cash to make other donations? Where did it come from? So the president, I think he will have to explain that as well. Secondly, it is embarrassing that they will include the president's annual salary as president in there. It just doesn't make sense, because this is not what asset declaration is about. We want to know what you value, what your properties value, what your investment, how much cash you have sitting in the bank. Yes, when it comes at the end of his 6 years, if he decides to save his money, then he can report that I have made $93,000, $95,000, and I've used only 10% of that, and this is the amount that I have in the bank. But you can't add your salary unless we're paying him in advance. Toga, are we paying salaries in advance? We're not paying salaries it's monthly, so why is it in there? But those are only two things. But you're doing a great job, Chris. I only came on to say that. So
thank you, Robert. Thank you so much.
Great job.
Yeah, thanks. So we're going to hit the next topic. We have it's 7:17, so we're going to be here until 8 something. So we have to hit another topic, very important, that came up today. And it says that today the U.S. Congressman Chris Smith, chair of the Global Human Rights Subcommittee, welcomed Liberian President Joseph Nima Boakai timely appointment of Councillor Jonathan Massaquoi to serve as Executive Director of the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court. So some a counselor has been appointed, although he's still to be confirmed as the executive director for the War Economics Crimes Court. This means that Massaquoi will be trusted to establish this court. This is a huge thing. He's going to establish the court and make sure that individuals who committed untold human rights abuses, who has been walking free, brought to justice. So I want to hear your take on this, because people were saying that Ambassador Bouaga, President Bouaga actually, he just this was a whole fly, because people let that thing. He said, "Oh, that fly." But you see that the president is now moving on with this thing. So it means that we are most likely to see in these 6 years that Joseph Bouaga will establish this War Economic Crimes Court. And so people will be brought to justice, even if not all the people honor his 6 years, or it might probably continue, but people will be brought to justice under his 6 years, and the court will be established in his 6 years. How do you feel about that? I will go to Kelebu. So you're watching TV?
Kelebu, you on the show or you watching a soccer game?
Are you joking?
I'm
I
not.
thought you're supposed to be here doing the people's job, Kelebu. That's how you got
I think on a serious note, I've expressed my delight on the fact that President Bouaga even took the bold step, apart from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and President George Weah, to establish a code, which is laudable. It's a good thing. Leadership is about courage. He had the courage to do so.
Yep.
But I have some concern about the involvement of Dr. Allen White and some individual. That's for me my concern now. I know the president has a right to appoint Jonathan Massaquoi, but if this man, the circumstances under which his nomination for the Minister of Justice was withdrawn, that for me is one of my concerns. And the fact that Jonathan Massaquoi was part of the defense team for Agnès Taylor, was also part of the defense team for Gabriel Massaquoi, a Sierra Leonean who is well known in Liberia that he was part of the Taylor rebel forces. Okay, is part of my concern. I know every criminal has a right under the law to be represented, but some lawyer can choose not to represent some clients. Representing clients taking on cases is a personal choice that lawyers make. Okay, so it's not obligatory that you have to represent this person. Unlike the field of medicine, doctors don't have a choice. Once you have the skill and the person is sick, you are under oath to treat the person. But in law, you have a choice to choose which case you want. In this case, he chose to represent people who they have appearance of collaboration in the mayhem in the country. And now, I see Allen White endorsing him, and we all know Allen White history. His fingerprint is all over political actors in our country. That is, for me, part of my concern I have. So I've heard from other sources. Sir Joseph can tell you his experience with Allen White. Natalia McGee can tell you his experience with Allen White. Bernard Urick and Prince Johnson has been open about his experience with Allen White. How Allen White took him to Ghana and he wanted him to run with Bernard Urick and this. He talked a lot in that interview. So
I want you to focus on the court, though. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
No, but this guy is going to drive the process. So I don't want us to have a whitewash process that at the end of the day, people with millions of dollars who have stolen millions of dollars from the country are giving kickback and they are going free. And we have a whitewash process and say, oh, Liberia had a war crime court or an economic crime court. Some of the people who are visible, Grace, we all know. They've been in government for long. They've stolen millions of dollars. They can bribe their way through this process. For me, at this point, that's part of my concern. So I put a question mark now to Jonathan Massaquoi. But I commend President Bouaga for the action. But I'm just a little bit circumspect about the director.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Kelebu. We're looking forward to Jonathan Massaquoi doing the right thing. And we're looking forward to the court being established and the Liberian people will get justice in all aspects of the court, including economic crimes. Julius, you want to come in?
Definitely. First of all, let me start off by commending the president for a bold step. You know, I hear people continuously complain about Allen White involvement. Maybe if Councillor Gonglo had taken the step as a counselor and a legal mind to fight for the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court continuously and tirelessly, I should say, continuously and tirelessly is what I meant to say. We won't have allowed a Caucasian to even be in the process today. Let's be realistic about what is happening. Liberian, we simply want justice, Kellybo. People who were given the opportunity to contribute to the process, they sat back and just let it behave as though, if it happens, it happens. So when Liberians decide to believe in other people's effort to make sure that they can get justice, I don't think we should come out here pretending to cry about their involvement. We want transparency. And that is the reason why some of us have consistently asked that when Allen White and other people are involved, we want it to be as transparent as possible because of what we're hearing from people like yourself. But we cannot cry. We can have our cake and eat it all at the same time. Those of us who were in power, those of us who have close proximity and connection to other people around the world, have we done our part to make sure that the War and Economic Crimes Court, the issue of the War and Economic Crimes Court was highlighted? I can tell you, probably Allen White would have had nothing to do with it. He would have been in the back, probably maybe as a consultant, nowhere near it. But we refuse. It took the innocent people to step up and do what is it. I must commend the president. If I never praise President Boyka ever, this would be the first time I will praise him, and I will extend my appreciation to him and his entire team for whatever appointment they have made. And I will say, I have no doubt, like I continue to say here, I have no doubt that the War and Economic Crimes Court will be established. By the way, where's Prince Johnson now? It's been a few months. I'm yet to hear from him. Previously, he was consistently on the radio speaking out loudly. I don't know where he's at, but I must say it is a commendable act, and I'm going to be grateful to him for that idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Lofad.
Can I give information that Lofad may not be aware of?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
Yeah, you can.
Yes,
Can
please.
you 30 seconds and then Dr. Peabody will come in because we don't want, we want everybody to have the fair chance.
I know we're running out of time.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you may know this. Maybe Lofad has forgotten. The Liberian National Bar Association, under the leadership of Councillor Gonglo, for the first time, beyond advocacy, drafted War and Economic Crime Bill and submitted it to the Claims and Petition Committee at the National Legislature at the House of Representatives to Representative Gompu Kagon under the WIA administration. And Buffer Chamber, about 40, you can ask Jaga Koluba, about 49 representatives signed onto that, but Buffer Chamber refused to put it on the floor. So, and that bill, that draft bill, Gambia is using it, use that to establish their court. And Councillor Gong was invited in Gambia to do a presentation on that. Just for
Thank you, Kelebu.
Can I use 10 seconds?
And you see what they're doing? That's
go
when
back
they started
and
to
then-
act like a soldier.
I mean,
I'll give you 10 seconds.
Like you other people.
I'll give it up. I will give it up.
This is not a place for
Okay,
it. Dr.
great.
Peabody
I will
can
give it
speak.
up. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, let me comment. Let me say here. Firstly, I commend the president for taking the bold step, but some of the actors involved, like Kelebu said, I have reservation for them. Today in the chat room, in another chat room, I asked, what is Allen White's interest in Liberia? Because totally it's clear that he's there for financial gain. He's not really there to really see justice for those who were killed and those who are in the Liberian Civil War. He's there for financial gain. From what I know, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, it's totally financial gain. When Allen White speaks, all the Liberian government officials get afraid, or the first thing that comes to mind, oh, he's going to bring sanction. Oh, he's the guy. He's close to Chris Smith, and he's going to bring sanction. I mean, but I commend the president. This is a bold step that he took. Two things the president did that the previous president did not even do. The president made his access. I know we can talk about it and make fun of it now, but at least Even if they faked it, at least he declared it, which make a lot of sense, and that was Economic Chronicle. But there are a lot of actors involved that are not there for the interest. They are there for financial gain and to make money, and will make millions of dollars on the Liberian people. And while the real victim of the Liberian Civil War will not be compensated, and I have a strong reservation for even Allen White being in control of that.
And that is Dr. Peabody view on this. I would like Toga to come in, and then Alex, so we can move on from this topic.
Thank you. And let me just say, especially some of us who are based on the ground, this show is not just about bashing at people. There will be some people who will have some information, some very important information that will also be able to provide. We all here will not have all of the information to our disposal. There will be some people. So sometimes when we're speaking about these things, it's not like, we support maybe people on Capitol Hill or so forth. No. All right. If I tell you that lawmakers on Capitol Hill definitely, employ their own staff, and when they are going, they go along with it. It's just for the information so that tomorrow we all get to know this and know how it works on Capitol Hill. It's not because I got any special interest in any of them. I just wanted that to put that across. Another thing is, it's not because you are accused, so it means automatically you are guilty. If a lawyer makes a representation of a client in a serious country like the United Kingdom, and that client gets free, that lawyer is a serious lawyer. It's not because her name was Agnes Reese Taylor.
I agree.
It's not because it was Agnes Reese Taylor. All right? She was accused of torture during the days of the war. That woman was placed on sanction for several years. She sat in the UK. Councillor Masakwe went.
She even went to jail. She went to
Of
jail.
course.
And they released her. They did not have evidence. You're right.
Yes. They fought her case and she got free. And today she's still lecturing at university in the UK.
Yeah.
She came to Liberia. She went on several radio stations. She explained her story, how people made up stories against her.
They did. And I believe her.
All right.
I believe her.
So it's not because she was accused of me. Technically, even when all the time Taylor was here, he was president, that woman was already far away from Taylor's activities. So there are a lot of claims, counterclaims, accusations against people because of the whole war crime code drama and all the kind of thing. People got to be given an opportunity to exonerate themselves. So I don't think Councillor Masakwe, did anything wrong by standing in the gap for another Liberian that was wrongly accused of a crime. What he did is something legally knowledgeable. What he did is what is called for in the legal profession. So for people to be going from one radio station, putting on releases the few days that they met, and sometimes I sit down and I say, what do Liberians want? We've been here for generations. We've been wanting, for me, nobody is an angel. What we want is that the people who perpetrated major crimes in this country must be arrested, must be brought to justice. That's what we're looking for. Whatever they eat. Like I'm hearing now, some $250 million is being set aside by the U.S. government for this war crimes code. In fact, somebody I know very well has been in Ghana a couple of days now, and they in some place in Ghana. I think that the people are still alone in Ghana. I think they say they got some place they call Winnipeg or something, WINN, something like Winnipeg. Yeah. And I'm hearing there where they're trying to talk to some stakeholders to get some prisons and things set up for people who will be held capable to go there, especially serious actors. That when you are caught here, and brought to book here, maybe your region, maybe your own man on standby for days, they drag you out of here, they carry you over there, and they put you inside it. So all these things are being negotiated. So I think this is, Lufa said, is something I'd like to commend the president about. That this is a good step towards the real healing process of this country, to bring people accountable. We have had, I can tell people sometimes what we don't know in this country.
Wrap it up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just quickly. We have had, indirect coups by one individual in this country consistently, because he feels he has a grip on the people of a specific region. As soon as he hit you 1 minute, he's automatic. The man is creating coup every day. Not because he's not holding gun to somebody here. But every day that man wants to remove you as leader of this country, he has a group of people that he got under the belt, instills fear in them, and make it appear like if you don't do this, what I'm saying to you, when these people come for you, I will not stand with you. We have to bring these people to book and put this thing behind us and put this thing to bed. Thank you.
Thank you. And that is so true, Toga. What I want to say,
he's scared.
Lofa, you keep on interrupting this thing. I'm going to mute you, Lofa, because you are keep on interrupting the show, Lofa. I have to mute you if you do it again. Thank you.
I see. we really got law and order yet.
Yes, there has to be law and order in the room when we doing these things.
Everybody eat lot today.
So I really agree with what Toga said. And concerning Allen White, I have respect for the man. I'm sorry, I know people have their differences with him, but what he's bringing to happen in the country for justice, I like that. And I'm really happy because I don't think a single Liberian will be able to push that kind of agenda the way he's pushing it. Now, if he's getting paid while pushing it, he's getting paid while pushing it. I would personally say, I think he should bring me in for that one economics crime. I would make sure due diligence is done. Seriously. Chuchu, you can come on.
Well, I will move that. I think we have you at the host most of the times with Dr. P about it because everybody in line today. Nobody interrupting nobody. Anyways, look, I'm not a legal scholar, so I don't like to discuss things I don't have, technical knowledge of. So that's why when it comes to the War and Economics Crimes Court, I revert to people who, the Jeru Verdiers, the counselors that you mentioned, and people who have expertise in that area. All I do want is for justice. I want the victims to be compensated. I want property seized. They're talking about the St. Taylor Ure and the Bena Ure because they got their wealth through the war. I can say that openly. They can go sue me if they want to. Bena Ure or nothing. Honor Taylor, that how he got all his wealth. We should be able to send his children into school abroad. And now his children are coming back to take positions for the other people who lives they destroy. And we sit down here and say, oh yeah, they qualify. Where did they get the money from to go to London School of Economics? And that is just not fair. People destroy other people's lives. Their children come to America, learn, and go back and run over there again. And now she's going to be paid for that stuff. So that's a thing that I personally believe in.
A disclaimer: was Bena Ure ever accused of war crime in Liberia?
Bena Ure is listed in the Truth and Reconciliation. Dr. P. about it, the one man in Liberia.
A disclaimer here because you want to be careful how you call it.
Yes.
Yes.
Alex, before you come
No.
Like
Like
You
I
gotta
said,
come out with a
Bena
disclaimer.
Ure.
You have to wait. People, I will say this.
Like I said, this is my comment.
Closing argument. The closing argument. Every individual here are responsible for their own.
Correct.
Their own, their views and their opinions. So this is not the belief of the closing argument. This is Alex Jones.
Correct.
Alex view, yeah.
This is Alex
I'm
Jones.
going to say that.
That in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report, a commission which was backed by the United Nations, there's even a resolution passed before the House of Representatives. Bena Ure it was concluded that he had committed, he should be held responsible for economic crimes, and he's one of those responsible for that bears the biggest burden, including Ellis Johnson Sirleaf, including Prince Johnson. So that's where my reference is. I'm not making things up. I read it. It's there for any Liberian to see it. And I know in Liberia will have a habit where we can accuse Prince Johnson, but we can't accuse Ellis Johnson Sirleaf. When the two participated in the war, when the two were co-sponsors of the war. That's our disingenuousness. That's how we are in Liberia. When we elect somebody, and Lofa, I want to thank you the other day. I watched your show. That you really win in my heart, and you are really right and on point on this with Ty One Way. And you're here all the time. You see me fighting for young people. All the time you see me saying young people need to be given a chance. But I'm not going to back any young person that is useless and corrupt.
Thank you.
Let's get that very clear.
Yep.
And Ty One Way respect. He will kind of no respect for me, whether he's young or not. I will personally try to also campaign against him because since he's been there, the kind of remarks he's making. What difference does it make? To show other young people or to show the public that, yes, let's bring more young people to power. Let's give them, they empower them. So thank you for that expose that we should not be, biased or partial in our deliberation. But clearly, the War on Economic Crimes Code, according to what I'm hearing, they need to speed this thing up. They need to send a letter to the United Nations asking them for help.
Thank you so much.
All the other stuff there, putting the other person, debating the other person. I don't care who is the lawyer. I don't care who is head of the office. All I'm saying, take the appropriate steps so that it can commence like yesterday. That Brentford was with there for almost 20 years now.
Thank you, Alex.
No other priority right now should be in Liberia other than first. That was a campaign promise. That was something that Joseph Boakai said he was going to do. And I think they're dragging their feet. So let's see it going. Hopefully this may let get you a month. But we want to see that letter at the United Nations, like Molu said. Because that's the letter. The Liberians are a sovereign nation. So another country is not going to come and take away your legal system. Let them send a letter inviting the United Nations to intervene in Liberia to set up this War Economic Crime Code. Then at which point,
Alex
I would
Jones,
say
thank you.
Joseph Boakai deserves credit.
Thank you, Alex Jones. Thank you very much for your opinion, your view on this. And I just want to say to you that, I know you said something about Benena Ure, he came from nothing. Benena Ure did not come from nothing. Just to be clear. Benena Ure came from a very good family, a very good home. They were well established in Liberia. I know from a little girl, so I know. Although you got all your opinions on what he has done, and everybody knows some of the things that happen in the public of corruption and everything, but he came from a very settled home. They were not poor people in Liberia. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not backing him. I know everything about the corruption life and everything.
I'm talking about Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I mean, after the war, all came from good families. Some of our parents, their houses were burned, and Benena Ure were no exception. Whatever wealth they had before the war, all our thing was damaged. But Benena Ure wealth came as a result of his affiliation and position in Taylor regime. And that regime is being used to be the most
personal with people. Let's talk about it.
This is a public forum. These are public officials. These are not private people. These are people who held government positions. These are people who are paid. This is not personal.
Yeah,
we're talking about the war economics.
When you start mentioning about the children and all of that, I think you're going too personal. Those kids.
Taylor Ure is a public figure. Taylor Ure is not a private figure. She's a politician. She's a public figure. The same way we can hold Musa Belede responsible and Joseph Boakai, we can hold Taylor Ure responsible.
We can hold them responsible, but in a very positive way, because your statement is so negative about that children.
No, how is it negative when it's factual? Did I say that she's not deserving of the position? I said go through a process like everybody else. I'm seeing her father. I'm seeing her father is responsible for some of the carnage according to the Truth and Reconciliation. You can't deny that. That's a fact.
It's in the Truth and Reconciliation information. So that's what you see.
All right, that's what I'm quoting. I'm not developing anything. I'm not developing anything on people. I do not know this woman. I'm not here.
Yeah, because you started on Tilia. She's not qualified. She's not.
So one day when responsible, y'all say, "Oh, no, who comes responsible? We hold John. We are responsible. Y'all say, "Who hold John? We are responsible."
My people, can we move on?
Yeah, we don't have much time.
We don't have much time left. We need to just move on to the next topic, and then we do our closing.
I don't think we're not trying to talk about the next topic, Grace.
Yeah, but we got 40 something.
We should be out of here by 10:00.
Yeah, so we got late time. It's just a 1 minute thing for you to say something 1 minute on this. I don't want to leave this on today, June 21st, 2024. President Boakai nominated the Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. He has nominated the Judge Siani D. Clinton Johnson as Associate Justice of the Honorable Supreme Court of Liberia. The appointment is subjected now to confirmation. I want you guys to say something on it because I saw in the chat room that she has a little bit of steam concerning a case that she did not recognize or did not accept the juror or determination on the case. So how do you feel about her nomination? Each of you will go 1 minute and then we will do our closing. I will start with Kerebu on this. 1 minute, I'm checking it.
Well, I read that I think on social media, on Facebook, somebody posted, but that's just the process. So let's see during the confirmation hearing. I think the facts are going to come out. But you know, our judiciary is very corrupt. So there could be circumstances. Did she observe jury tampering? Did she observe something that she thought maybe the jury verdict was contaminated already? She's going to set it aside. I don't know. So so I can't make comment on that until maybe we'll get more facts.
Okay, so Lofa, do you want to say anything concerning the nomination of Judge Johnson, Clinton Johnson?
Yeah, let me use my I got 2 minutes, right?
1
minute. Okay, let me use 30 seconds to just speak to this comment. Patriotic Liberian, and she I think this person is a religious follower of the platform and also follow me personally. The statement again, clarify. I will use my 1 minute to just use speak to them because I have nothing to say about this woman or whoever was nominated. But when people make statements and consider themselves in the wrong, okay, you don't use that to run with it to say, oh, because the person was wrong. Todd made a specific statement. And in addition to that statement, he followed up using the N word at me. And he reached out privately and said, brother, I was wrong and I apologize for the statement made. When that is done, that is considered the peace pipe. I acknowledge, I respect his view and his consideration. So we move on. That does not negate the fact that the statement made in his position, okay, as a public servant, as a representative, is not considered where or how it was considered before. But when he said to me, Lofa, I shouldn't have used the N word in my position, that should be commendable and that should be in my position, okay? I should accept and move forward and continue to hold him accountable. So let us not mislead ourselves and continue to have this misconception. Oh, Lofa said he and this person smoked the peace pipe, so that means the statement made is no longer existent. He clarified his statement. He said, yes, Lofa, you're my brother. I consider you a friend, and that's why I use the N word without the ER instead with the A, Nigga. Somebody you're close with or you're cool with, you can use that word to them, or you think you're friends. But knowing that we were not cool like that, so he made the clarity. Let us not.
Thank you, Lofa. Thank you, Lofa.
Thank you.
1 minute. The word is not good to be used. I mean, I don't think black.
And he apologized.
He
apologized. He apologized, and that's why I said we smoked the peace pipe. We move on. He apologized. At least he was man enough to apologize. At least he was man enough to apologize.
Can you please come on?
This will form part of my closing statement. But what I would say here is I don't know the lady appointed. I really don't know her except for something that I read on her that got put in a chat room today. So I really don't have a lot, but I just hope that they are bringing somebody to the highest court of the land who is coming with who is transparent, who understands the law, who interprets the law, who will not be controlled by the executive and make decisions. Because we see a lot of contradiction in Liberia in the Supreme Court there. And one of the contradictions was just the recent ended LTA saga, where the president appointed when they went to Supreme Court said, hey, you made a mistake here, so you have to the people have to take the job back. The people go back, the president suspend them. The people go back to the Supreme Court. Oh, don't bring it here. We don't want it here. It's different things. We don't want to take on the very case that we just rule on. I think it's a lot of contradiction and a lot of things that most of the people, the Supreme Court is being controlled by the executive, and I don't see them really enacting law that would benefit the Liberian people. The law had not been interpreted the right way. It's always some mess. They come out, interpret, and then leave you right there. They know where to go farther, know where to come back. But I hope the Senate will do their due diligence in really grilling this woman to see who she is, not just going there and trying to confront somebody. But they will do that due diligence. And I don't know whether I have to come to them in the Senate to do that.
I hope they would do it, Dr. Pipa. Since just Baka took over, we haven't seen that. In fact, in their government, it wasn't even the case. So we just gonna watch and see what they're gonna do. I will let Toga come in, and then he can say what he has to say. Then we can do our closing 1 minute. Dr. Pipa, they already did his closing. Maybe he will come back in 3 seconds. Who knows? But Toga, go ahead.
This time, Toga, he can talk.
Oh yeah, I'm Toga.
Thank you. So first of all, I think this is something good for Liberian women. The fact that she's expected to be the third woman on the bench. I think this is a win for Liberian women. You already have the Chief Justice, then you have Madam Olokoli, then you got this newest woman on the block,
Clinton Johnson.
So yeah, so it means I think it's going to be 3 against 2. So the women will be in command.
Girl power.
Yeah. Interestingly, also, I think she served once as the judge for Criminal Code E that was basically around issue of rape. You know, rape even today is still prevalent in our society. I really hope that our appointment or this nomination will mean, you know, a stiffer again measure to be taken against rapists across the country. From a political standpoint, you know, I think the Unity Party might be divided over this. The fact that a lot of people have been looking up to a former member of the bench. You remember during the George Weah's time, who was removed. They thought President Bouaka would have reinstated him, you know, Councillor Jane. So that has been some things in the corridor. That's why I held up to this this nomination for a very long time, because a lot of people have been watching out to see whether George Weah's decision will be reversed and Councillor Jane will have been replaced. But all eyes now on the Senate. The issue that was placed in the chat room concerning jurors tampering is something that is going to maybe be sticky. But the fact that you have a female also presiding over the Senate at this point in time, I think all these things maybe will be, you know, trash or so, but which they madam well, and we look forward to a very decent judiciary branch of government, and that the team there can solidify their gains to make sure that our system can be super. Thank you.
And I agree. More girl power to that particular branch of government. And you know, women always are known to make some women, majority of women, I will not say all of us, majority of women are known to make very sound decisions when it comes to, you know, this leadership and things like that. Because I work with a lot of them, and because of them, the decision making and stuff like that, my where I work is very, very. You know, we do a very good job there. We always win in Pennsylvania for our job, and it starts on our job. So I'm really looking forward to see what she's bringing to the table. And I will let you to come in, and then we will do our closing. Juju, if you will just close with your 1 minute, so I'll give you 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
All right. Thank you very much. I do not agree with a sexist statement, whether in favor of men or women. I think we just want the most competent person. We're seeing here people like Kamala Harris became vice president with the lowest ratings. So we see Joy Howard Taylor, woman. We see Yomle Kage Lawrence. I just believe that where Liberia is, we don't have the luxury of failing. People are suffering. People need help. People desperately are undergoing some of the worst, you know, standards in the world. And so for me, it's not a thing of women, you know, or men or so forth. It's more of rape is a serious issue in Liberia. I would want to know how many you know, rape defendants were prosecuted and in jail today. Those are the kind of record I would look at. I'll look at track record as a lawyer. And then I'll make my decision. If this person has been in the judicial system all these years and Liberia is still one of the worst in terms of judiciary proceeding and corruption, people can kind in broad daylight attempt murder and they can go free. So it questions me. Again, I don't know this individual, this lady, but I'm sure she's an honorable person. But I look at the record and I would say in my closing is that many Liberians, I'm a Liberian, as Dave everyone in Liberia, I was living in Liberia. We have this tendency where we selectively talk about people or we selectively have an opinion of people based on their status in society. So, for instance, if Lopa Julia is a big shot, he got money, he got radio station. Even if Lopa Julia goes and rapes somebody, God forbid. Sorry, Lopa, for that example. I know you won't do that. But
Thank
the fact
you.
that you're a
That is
big
very
man,
grave.
Right. I'm glad that
I just give an example. Just give an example. Lopa Julia
Make
is
up
an honorable
another
person. He
piece,
won't do
Bible.
that. Let me clear. But just because the fact that this man is a big shot, for me to even use the word allegedly on him, I would start to question it. But if there's somebody else who is a poor man living, then I have a whole different standard. Then I will be the first one coming up. Let prosecute him before even he goes through trial. That's our society. It's in us. We gotta change that. I don't kind of waste 2 or 3 hours here. You understand? Just because I got time. I'm here to hold important people and people who are responsible for our country accountable. I'm here to pressure them. I'm not here to come. I would never criticize any ordinary person, but if you're in government and you're a politician, me and you for it. So that Taylor Ure thing, that Taylor Ure got other sisters. I don't talk about her sisters. I know her mom. We'll be on platform together. She's not a politician. But this woman, the particular Taylor Ure, is a politician. She's a public figure. Her father is a politician. He's a public figure. So I have the right to talk about it in a public forum. And I will continue to. Seeing it with Bernard Ure, where he Nick Folentikova, he's a public figure. He's getting paid just like Joseph Boakai or anybody else. I'm here to examine them, to scrutinize them, to criticize them, so our people can learn and they are held accountable, whether they're big or not, whether they got money or not. If nobody will criticize them, Alice Jones will. Thank you very much.
And that is your right, Alice. And we like you being here because we know that you will hold them people accountable, and that's why we are here. So thank you very much for your closing. And we would like to hear Kelebu, what is your closing argument?
Well, great show. I will close to talk a little bit about Councillor Sianette Clinton Johnson. She used to be Sianette Clinton. I know her very well. So if she watches this video, they show maybe years later and say, how Kelebu was there? He didn't even say anything positive about me. I know her. She was a classmate of my older brother, Councillor Tawan Gonglo, in the law school. And they actually did practice law together on Rana Street in the same law firm. She, Councillor Bien Howard, and Councillor Gonglo. She was one of the few girls, I think maybe the only female in her class that actually went to court to practice law when she left the law school, as a practicing lawyer, courtroom lawyer, She's a tough lady, strong academic, because her father was an education officer for Lofa County. So she, by that, he made all his children to be educated, and all of her siblings are very educated. So she, academically, in terms of substantive understanding of the law, I give it to her. But practice, sometimes judges make decisions. We non-lawyers, we disagree. Sometimes when judges make decisions. But I believe personally she should be a good addition to the Supreme Court because she's very articulate. She's very meticulous on her point of view. That's what I say.
Okay, thank you, Kelebu. That was your closing, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I will bring in Toga and then Lufa.
Yes, so I think yes, a good show, and I think going forward up to next week we will still be going over this entire asset publishing of President Boakai is going to go longer. Some of the inconsistencies will come about. But there will be a lot of debates surrounding it and how other public officials can get involved with it. I really hope the LACC can begin to step up its game as well. I read something on the show the other day when Chairman Musa Belete was on here, and it's something I've been pondering over. With all of these asset declaration and all of that, I was also thinking how the LACC can also begin to contribute to the national budget. And to do so, it's not because you sit in an institution that only gets money from the government. You also must be able to design some strategy how you bring money to government. The LACC must be ensuring that people should not just be declaring their assets. Those assets that they are declaring, are they paying taxes on those assets? And those taxes that you pay on those assets must be attached to the document when you're presenting it to the LACC. That alone can raise some money for government. So nobody will be declaring 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. If you start putting in the taxes you also pay to it before you declare it, at least government will be making some money. You know, so I think we have to do that. So the LACC has to wake up. I think many of these people, especially the people in the tenure position, fear a lot about the way things are going. You know, with the governance commission, with the LTA, all these situations, guys, a lot of people fearing about their jobs to the point where they cannot even be active. There are a lot of corruption scandals that have been taking place. Look at the issue we talk about, even the Mo Ali saga, where you're talking about his entire procurement process and how it went. You know, the LACC cannot even investigate these things. A lot of corruption taking place in the government. The 600,000 issue from the National Oil Company of Liberia, out of the president's, I think, nephew when he went there. Yeah, you know, a lot of issues like the one that they even took, the Unity Party took from the NASCOP just before they even got fully, inducted into office. All these investigations, I thought the LACC would pick up them and start reviewing them and taking some actions. The LACC is sitting and doing nothing because everybody fears that if you start getting stronger, they will remove you from the tenure. I think we need to readjust, and the LACC needs to have some teeth to point. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toga. And Lofa, I mean, you and me will make our comment last. We want to hear at least 4 calls. Ansu, I want the calls to come from Liberia. Ansu, but Henry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
He would take his own time to respond to you, like.
That bugger, right?
Almost 12 midnight yet.
He's tired.
Yeah.
You still want to declare answer to respond.
Henry want to sleep. Henry, we need 4 calls for 1 minute each, and I'm checking the minute. We don't want more than 1 minute to make any comment. After
No.
We have to shut it off. So take 4
Yeah,
calls.
certainly we'll not do that. So 077701765 777017635 is the number to call. 1 minute per quarter. 077701765 is the number to call, and they're going to be live here in the closing document. Just 4 quarters. So, Chief, I don't know. What I don't do for God, I mean, I would take my own time while I respond. Why I have to do for God? They don't come to there. After you're talking, I won't get into it. You know, you got to dance like because we see in reality. You guys get the information through Facebook. We on ground. Yeah.
So you on Facebook, you live on Facebook now. They see Facebook.
I know that. So I got my shades. I want to do that, but I will be seeing this show to see how my shades on my face on the weekend.
Oh, so
Henry take a shot at me today, but it's all right. Go ahead.
So 0170635
we don't have any
is
point like rough.
the number to call. No, the phone I didn't ring it, boy. You know, we gotta like do 1 or 2 chip chat and then we get to it. I just 4 callers. Then I'm out. When the call starts, okay, I tell the 30 calls, it will be a whole lot. 777017635. I want to prove all the mega problem over Julia. So let's call up. How are you? Yeah, good morning. Just a minute, and then we are early in the morning hour. How are you? Your name from where you join us? Yeah, James, you got just 30 seconds. Go ahead. Be straight to the point. Don't speak to nobody. Just go straight to the point.
I like this guy.
The issue of the workman code, I think we share worker for the stuff.
You for or you against? Are you for or against?
No, I'm for because we think that.
Okay, thinking you for. We ain't got no time. We're taking just 4. You for. So it means you want to walk around close to come. 777017635. That's the number to call, and they're going to be live. Who was in town right now? Hello, to this call. Good morning. Hello, boss man. How are you, sir? Yeah, to the point, my man. Do that thing. Forget about that flamboyance. Go straight to the point. So what you say? Regular people causing laugh for you to be difficult. Is you had a chance to go and prove your right as a citizen, your constitutional right as a citizen.
Speak, Henry.
You went to that ballot box. You
speak, Henry.
You did what you could do. That could be
Yes.
that could be necessary for you in the nearest future to come.
Yes.
Nobody teach you when you stood behind that box, you yourself alone become decisive of the kind of nearest future life you want to live. So
Yes.
So let's go off the Boy America. The Boy America, they just try to become that's loyal. They are not they are how you call it? They are patriotic citizens. Yeah. They want the best out of you. They are not politicians, as you may define.
Thank you. We're sticking in now.
They are pushing the right politics. Those that preach politics, these are people that want self-gain. Those that preach the rightful politics, these are people that want the better for you, your family, and your country. Right, that's just it. So let go about them being American.
Why am I person clapping? Can you guys clap for Henry?
Yes. I'm ready.
Everybody clap for Henry. Grace, can you clap for this young man?
So that's it. So no time to wait. 770-176-35 to this quarter. Good morning. Make your point. 30 seconds. Go straight to the point.
I just want to speak on can you imagine 600,000 for a land home or the rehab area that house that just go there one day flat issues on 600,000? It's unbelievable.
Okay, thank you. It's unbelievable. The horse just get the you not believe it's supposed to be. I don't anyway. We need the country need real workshop. You gotta come and conduct a real workshop for this country. We need workshop. The whole country, the entire country needs workshop.
We was hearing continue talking. Take one more call, then we can go. After you take that, you have to make your closing argument yourself.
Let's get 2 more calls coming just for the sake of
Henry, before you take another call, let me just post this on here. Somebody said their lunch is on you. Well, your lunch is on them. Right there, the comment right there. Esther called said she would send it through me. So I'm just don't start taking bribe around here.
Overall, the reason why we are came on the platform with glasses today because we fail to understand as Liberians. For that, we always go in the wrong direction, and that is obvious. The people that try to put us on the red track, we see them being biased. They want to get political gain, but no, it should be a single and a warning to you. Someone sit down within America and they understand the entire political arena within your country. That will be a signal to you. It means no harm that indeed they are against you, but rather they want to make you. Because they themselves, they are citizens, some kind of a way. They align with that country. So what happens is that they want the better for you. But we fail to understand all of these things. We said, no, we'll do our own will. Just in few months, we have started complaining. We level about 5 years. So we'll complain tired. We will complain. As a matter of fact, we survive. I don't care how it be, we survive. Certainly and definitely we survive. So I don't care. We'll survive, man. Today's caller. Good morning, Tumo. How are you?
Good morning.
Bossman, go ahead. Be straight to the point. 30 seconds for you. If you want to speak to the whole panel, we're not happy today. We've been on the platform since 1 year, I think 4 months.
Thank you so much.
Make your point.
So my name is Lorenzo Babajima, and I call for Ralph this morning. This is what we're looking for. That no sin goes unpunished. We need the worker.
No sin goes unpunished. We need the worker and co. Your story about Uyeri. No sin goes unpunished. No need to go to that thing. The man he fought. No sin goes unpunished. But what we put, we would certainly reap it. No thing going for this. Good morning, the last caller. You are very lucky. Okay.
Lufa, I'm gonna
You
say
see,
a little breakfast for Henry, okay?
just a minute.
It's
You
in
see
your
that?
cash app. The young
Everyone
man is doing a
know.
good job.
Everyone know the exact point. The guys there. So you know, instead of going to finish, so at times we like bring love it to be very happy. So for that, what we sold, we certainly reap it. You see, the guy just going to what I think 25 seconds he says, okay. He said, Joey, I got nothing to do with asset declaration. That's nothing to us. But now that I'm too angry today, but I just feel like I came on the show. I was quietly sitting doing the production, but there's a time when all do the show, gotta get a feedback. When the feedback comes, these people will not come and beat our butt. When we see the one over Junior, the man wasn't a problem. The man William record, the mentor, the man say, oh Henry, he knows. The man out half Liberian, half American. The man can speak Kolokwa raw. Raw, they can speak it. So when you're dupe kind of a man,
You know, Lufa teaching you something.
He said, Lufa teaching you something.
But anyway, you know what? We're gonna thank you. We need to close the show. We thank you for speaking tonight. And if you want to say anything for 30 seconds, you can say your closing argument.
yes, okay, 30 seconds.
Boy, Henry, you see, Henry used politician. That Lufa expression, that Lufa was.
Yeah, we have a lot of how you call them politicians. The only one politicians. The only one their self gain, their family, and their self. But those involved in the politics, they want a betterment of their country. That's not self gain. They always think about their country. But how many of those people can pull their hand up today and say, I stand for my country? Who can take me? All of us, there are some that we align with certain party. Put me on a specific politician say, I stand for my country. No one. They always want their self gain. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Once it is not them, it shouldn't be no one else. So my closure tonight is many things to you guys on the Friday edition, on the weekend. I know many of them today, they pour their water inside them. When I finish firing, they will drink their water quietly and then go to bed. Well,
thank you.
Henry, can I just say one thing, please, Henry?
Why,
I'm going to send you a little breakfast for Henry. The gentleman, the young man is doing a great job. So I was saying something small. And I just encourage all of us, even at $2, they may stay at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night. Let's encourage our young people. So you get a little breakfast from me tomorrow morning. Okay, Henry, thank you very much.
Yeah, the president, to June, I did not see you. There's going election. So, yeah, I was friendly in it. I call this, that's the State of the Nation group chat was there.
2029, don't worry. The man coming now. He coming cuckoo now.
Hey. You gotta come fire.
No, we have some good candidates.
Let me just close.
On the platform order.
Let me just close on this note. It actually makes me feel really good listening to Henry tonight. I know people are seeing this young man, just out of himself. Normally he's quiet and just getting the job done. But to some extent, people get fed up. And every time I have a conversation with Henry, it's not about big brother, little brother conversation. I give it to him just as it is seen. And I think the message is resonating. And I want everybody to see it that way. If we are to simply do the same and not feel like we have failed, I think we will succeed. Let us continue to do what we are doing. Your voice matters. Don't say because I'm on the social media. The more we emphasize and we highlight the failure of these politicians, and as you leave from here tonight, that is the word. They are politicians and lawbreakers. You reference them as lawmakers. They're not. They're politicians and lawmakers. Politicians are innovative. They look for the problem and they find solution and implement them. The politicians use the problem to literally exploit the people. So there's a big difference, and that is why those of you who are opportune to be in the United States can stand in the gap and continue to fight. Don't give up. Don't say because they did not listen to us yesterday. You listen to Henry, and I'm touched that he is being as he is tonight. I hope that other young people who are not, in quotation, militants would do it. I just want to say it was a great show tonight. I really have other things to talk about, but I don't want to overshadow Henry's performance tonight. Bravo to you, young man. Continue to do that and bring other people under your umbrella who will understand that this is not about Alofa Julius. This is not about Grace Guar. Not is it about Alex Tutu Jones or even Toga, who's in Liberia. Toga is well off. Okay, Toga kids will go to any school he wants them to go to. But it's about those of you who cannot afford for yourself. How can we create a much more vibrant and transparent society that will benefit all of us under one umbrella as compared to those who come in and then abuse the people, send their kids abroad to seek medical attention, go to school, attain the best education, and then leave you all vulnerable. Thank you again. Thanks. It was a great show tonight, but I think all thanks go to Ansu and Henry tonight for hosting us and keeping us aware. Thank you, guys. Great show.
Thank you
You did a
very
fabulous job, Grace.
Thank you very
Fabulous
much.
job.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you,
Please
Grace.
do
People
again.
say
Yeah.
you held me up.
No,
Thank
I
you.
forgot to say, Grace, thank you.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
You know, we're gonna recommend you in our government to be Minister of Defense, Grace.
Eh,
You keep the country in line.
I would deal with the people. I will have things straight if you recommend me. I tell you, like
Yes.
I would change in a year. I will put everything in place. But
Getting
anyway,
everything
guys,
up.
thank you.
Look at her always jumping on me all today. You are quiet and keep
When
on.
we lunch and breakfast, please send his money.
We get another
Okay,
piece. Don't worry.
Henry called me in the morning.
Julius
Henry
are
called me
already,
in the
you
morning
know,
to
let's
wake me
one
up.
want to add Julius. I already
Hey,
sent you
disclaimer, disclaimer.
right?
Order.
I already sent it to you, Cash App. So please send it to
Okay.
there.
Let me
Can
catch
you
my
do my
phone.
closing?
Let me catch my phone, Henry.
Can you guys wait me to my closing? Henry, thank you for being on the show tonight. I want to thank Ansu too. He opened up very well. So I would
Yes.
say thanks to Henry and Ansu. These
Ansu,
people
yeah.
are my brothers, and Henry could be my nephew. So they know what we do in the back. But Henry, let me tell you, I'm very proud of you tonight. And also, Henry has a show on Sunday that he plays gospel music. You didn't tell the people about your show. He plays gospel music.
Yeah,
And he
so
feature
just give me
great
2 minutes.
artists. Yeah, like okay, you want to do?
So,
you want to?
I'm
promote
not
your
just
show?
limited. Maybe
Okay.
many of you guys don't know I'm not just limited. Let me tell many thanks to the Renaissance Communication Incorporated, Truth FM. There's a place where you come as an individual, you gotta be versatile. And many thanks to my director, that's Oni Rabbits, right? They give you the chance to do what you can do to your best. To sit on the show, it takes a lot of patience because many times in the year you gotta stay at the studio in the morning, you go fresh up, come back to work. That's why it is not about what I stand to achieve at the moment, but the passion for the job. That's what I can say to it.
Wow.
And then when you have been given the privilege, you do what you can do to your ultimate best, not for your self gain, being your politicians, but rather let the country drink from a fountain of knowledge. We got a show, a gospel show on a Sunday. We run a show for the benefit of Liberians, where we promote Liberian artists, more specifically gospel artists, those with the vocalists, vocal artists. We promote them on the show. So many thanks to you, Sis Grace, and you know what I can do. I don't want to like be very how you call it.
Well, I know what you can do. I've been listening to your show, so
Yes.
yeah, he's very good at his craft. So Henry, thank
Yeah.
you. I would like to say tonight was a very good show. I really appreciate being here, and I want to say thanks to Ansu as well. He did a very good opening for us. And I also want to say that we appreciate all the listeners and all our people on Facebook. We appreciate you guys. Once you get here, you continue to share the show so other people can learn, from what we have to offer with our opinions and stuff, because this is a very great show. And I want to say to the guy who made a call, we are patriots. It's not because we live in America, but we take our time and we come on this platform. We have things to do, a lot. Alex know and Toga even know that we do a lot of stuff. So to sacrifice the 3 hours to be here, it takes a lot, sometimes 2 hours, 30 minutes, because we love Liberia. We want to see the best for the country. And we put our heart in our minds. And we could be doing anything. I could be at a pool right now. Swimming is 95 degrees in Pennsylvania. I could be swimming or doing something, but I took my time and came here. I even had to leave because I had something to do and came back. So you look at us as patriots. Don't separate us because we are all one. We are Liberians. And next week when I come, I will explain my experience with the Ghanaian embassy to show Liberians that we need to even hold together more. So thank you very much. And we hope that you guys are watching all the politicians and don't make the mistake. I hear you say you went to the ballot box, you put in your vote, and now you're complaining. You saw people like Dr. Moneyback on that ballot. You saw other people on that ballot. You decided to put your vote in for this government. So this government is in the lead right now. And they will lead. Come on. I know you're speaking. You gotta look up for yeah. Okay, let's go.
All right.
All right, Henry. Yes, I received an amount from Chuchu. Yes, Chuchu sent an amount of $10 for he said lunch. So thank you for breakfast. Okay, he said he sent $10 for your breakfast. So and I received the $10, and I'll make sure you get it.
Thank you, Alex.
Good night. Thanks, Alex.
Good night, guys.
Good job. Appreciate it, bro.
Yo, man. All right, take care, guys.
Thank you, bro.
My people, where you at? Wake up when you stomach, stop sleeping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping. You gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people lots of the government trick us.
The heart and soul of Liberia.
We die with their lies. We die with their promises that left us to all our damages. We die with that fish they preach in DNA uniquity.
And I'll take 96 for 1 2 FM, 20 minutes down 12 o'clock here in Liberia. Let me say many thanks to all of our panelists there on the weekend presentation here on the closing document. It has been very much fascinating, educative, and informative. Let me say many thanks to the team there, Hot FM 107.9. That's the man Zizi Bara and the man Edix. And the team there, 2 FM 96.1 there in Nima County, Sakopie, and all affiliate radio stations for also reading this program. Let me say many thanks to the technical team here at the Renaissance Communication Incorporated. That's 96.1 2 FM. For always making it their duty to be on ground. It has been the production of Henry Jala and Ansu Sedif here on the Renaissance Communication. And finally, we take our weekend break here on the closing document. Many thanks to you, online viewers, for burning your data, your Wi-Fi, whatever means you've been following us. Let me say many thanks to you. As a matter of fact, Chubafen cut across the 15 counties. The information always resonates in the 15 counties. So we'll catch you. That's going to be on Monday. I wish I'm going to be here again with another fascinating edition of Closing Document. The name is Heron Jara. I've been here with the man Ansu Sedi. Bye-bye. For our end.
My people, where you at? Wake up when you stomach, stop sleeping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people lots of the government trick us. The people lie to us. The government betray. We die with their lies. We die with their promises that left us
This
to allow
station rules the nation.
You're tired with that speech they preach.
Why you flash the dance? You want everyone to see. Why do you flash that dance? You want everyone to watch it. I got no time to watch the humankind. I only watch the Almighty. The Almighty. There is the best I have learned.